Peace, y'all. What's going on? Got it plugged in. What up? What up? Welcome to the live. I got headphones, so I don't gotta shout no more. Life is good. Welcome to the interview. We're here to ask questions, not answer them. If you want to come up here and give us your point of view, feel free. Feel free. We're going to let people up when we get to 2K likes. Peace and power to all the descendants of my ancient mother. What's going on, sisters, brothers, and others? Hope everybody had a good week. They tried to take our computers down, but B1 Initiative is untouched. One love, what up? B1 Initiative is untouched. We don't use their system, so I don't know how many of y'all know. B1 Initiative is a link in my bio. It is a nonprofit technology startup geared towards empowering African descendants worldwide. But yeah, I'm gonna let some people come on up here, give us their opinions. If you say it's ethical, please substantiate that, qualify it. Come on up and let us know what you think. Does North African count? What do you mean by that? Black men afraid of white tea men sleeping with black women, but totally do not care about genocide. Why are you saying that? Black men, are we scared of white tea women sleeping with sisters? Sisters, are you scared? Who's scared? I think you're projecting. I think the white man has always been afraid of black men sleeping with white women. That's why you made laws to prevent that from happening. That's why when you would hang our ancestors in trees, you would take away their manhood, if you know what I'm saying. I think that's something you're afraid of, and you're projecting that onto black men. Don't do that. This live is about marriage, not sleeping. This live is about waking up, not sleeping. Brother or sister shouldn't be sleeping with nobody. We need to be waking up with people, our people. The first guest. Hi, Michaela.
Hi,
Give us your age, race, and pronouns.
I'm 22, she, her, and I'm black and white.
All right.
I think it's ethical.
All right. If you don't know your race, don't come up here. Do not come up here if you don't know your race. Don't even come up here. Nobody is black and white. That don't exist. And it's a smack in the face of black people to say that you have access to whiteness because you don't. Don't sit up here and play on my live, please. Somebody said I'm melanated. Why do you call yourself melanated? If if you know more about humanity, you know for 2/3 of humanity, everyone came melanated. Actually, longer than that. But anyway, everyone came melanated. So when you call yourself melanated, what you really should be saying is you're normal and other people are unmelanated because that's what happened. People had melanin until some people didn't. So that would mean melanin is the default. The Greek word melos is the root word of melanated or melanin. That's the root word, melos. Melos means dark or black. So when you say you don't want to be called black, but you prefer to be called melanated, you're just saying you don't want to be black in English, but you're okay with being black in Greek. We got to be for real at some point. We really have to be for real at some point. All right. Oh, next guest left. Anybody else want to come up and talk in all seriousness? Please. Can someone serious come up here? Peace, Freddie. Peace, Jazzy. I wanna excuse me. I wanna have a conversation in good faith. I am here to learn. If you are here to learn, don't come up. If you are here to give your point of view, do feel free. But yeah. And while we're waiting, Sister Sonia Massey, I want to bring attention to that sister's name. Check her out. Google her story. She's a sister that needs some justice right now. She's a sister that needs some justice. No justice, no peace. Look up Sonia Massey.
Okay.
Hi, KG. Give us your age, race, and pronouns.
I am 29. I am white. I am she, her, they, whatever you want to say. I don't really care.
All right, talk to us.
I want to ask more on what you mean by you can't be white and black.
I don't answer questions. I ask them.
Oh, okay. That's totally fine. I was just curious.
Okay. So how
Because
can you be a white black person?
I am not. My child is.
Your child's a white black person?
She is biracial.
Okay. That's not the same thing as being white and black at the same time.
But it technically
I'm
is.
monoracial. Am I the same race as Taylor Swift?
I would say no, but
Are you sure? Because Donald Trump is monoracial. I think we might be the same race. I don't identify as black anymore, guys. I'm monoracial. So me, Taylor Swift, Jackie Chan, we're all the same race.
But as I was saying, though, like I would say no, but I can't give an educated answer on that because I do not know.
All right. Well, go find out and maybe come back up.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Biracial is a description of how you got here. It is not your race. Monoracial is a description of how I got here. It is not my race. People that are confused about this don't want to be black. Black people that are confused about this don't want to identify with their own people group. It is outlined in the book Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGruy, where she says that part of the symptoms of post-traumatic slave syndrome is an aversion to identifying with one's own cultural or ethnic group. So that being the case, we know why you would rather classify yourself as a description and not the social category that's been cast upon you. We also understand that biracial people experience anti-blackness. What part of being white is experiencing anti-blackness? We also understand that y'all feel systemic racism. What part of being white is systemic racism? Last I checked, white people don't have to think about race when they're doing anything. In fact, a lot of them don't even drive around with their insurance and registration in their glove compartment because they know when they get pulled over, the cop will treat them equitably. They know the cop will treat them with a sense of justice. They actually feel safe when they call 911, unlike Sonia Massey, who was unalived. It doesn't happen to them as much as it does us. What is it that you think makes you white if you have white parent? And that's the hard part for y'all to grapple with. That your parent has a privilege that you don't. I'm sorry. That's your white parents' fault. You know, that's her people's fault. We didn't come up with that. There's no way you're mixed race with white privilege. And go convince white people of this. Don't come on a black person's live and convince us that you have white privilege like that's some sort of trophy. And here, that honestly, you should be muted for that. I just don't think my moderator's in here right now. I just have the ability to benefit from the exploitation of my own people. I have white privilege. I have the ability to take advantage of exploiting people. Like, that's how you sound right now. Like, you sound ridiculous. So don't come in here thinking that makes you special or that makes you, because you don't have white privilege. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. You can have a Jewish last name and now you don't. You have access to some levels of white privilege in some of the areas of people activity, but you don't got the full thing. And not having the full thing just means you're oppressed with a lesser kind of oppression, but at the same time for the same reason. That reason is white supremacy. A global system created by white people to control and dominate all non-white people. That's because Obama is black, Shondell. Absolutely. Obama is black. You know, it's like, it's ridiculous how we trying to come up with ways to get our proximity to or actually distance ourselves from blackness or Africanity. But guess what? One day, I'm gonna make a prediction, and I might not even be here to see it happen. I'm gonna prophesy to y'all right now. One day, Africa is gonna have sovereignty over its own resources and economy and its own labor force. One day, Africa is going to build an economy in a dollar that doesn't need any other dollar on earth because they're going to use African resources. Over $143 trillion of African resources on that continent. And that's just an estimate. It could be vastly more. So One day when Africa has this freedom, this sovereignty, and this economy, you're going to see a lot of mixed race people that identify as mixed or biracial. You're going to start to see them all claim Africa. Watch. When it turns around, watch. I hope we're all here to see it, but that's a stretch. I think we got a long way to go. I still think we got a little while to go. It might be like 2 generations. I should make a video saying this so that in the future people will know. They're gonna come running back. They definitely gonna come running back. They gonna cause at that point, when your only way to have access to African resources is through some sort of tribe or some connection to the continent, because we're gonna be tired of colonization and people exploiting. Yeah. When y'all want them good prices on African resources and you're gonna have to have a connection in order to do that, we're gonna see a lot of y'all. Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm just black with a white mom. But I'm Igbo, you know. I'm Ashanti. I just got a white. Nah, if you have a white, if you're Ashanti, you got a white dad. You know what I'm saying? I got a white dad, but I'm a Khan. You know, we're matrilineal, so the mom has to be black. But yeah, you're gonna see them turn around. Obama has white privilege. That is a damn lie. That is a damn lie. Don't be telling them correct. You the number one gifter. What's wrong with you? You better get back on code. Obama ain't got no damn white privilege. Obama experienced so much racism in that office. They had Michelle Obama tearing up in the documentary. Don't play with me. Obama experienced so much racism that the office of the presidency has not come back to its full glory since he left. Look at the American politics post Obama. It's like we just had Hulk Hogan on stage at the RNC. Like, the seriousness of American politics is gone since Obama became president. Why do you think that is? Why do you think the price of a corn star, you know what a corn star is? Like someone that puts videos on Cornhub. The price of a white tee corn star woman drops after she has her first interracial scene. Because white tee men don't want to follow that. And, they feel like that's, as far as she can take it. Anything else now, she's she's done that thing. So usually what they do is they start out their career like Stormy Daniels, and they only do white tee men, and then they build up to where they have their big interracial scene, and then they know the price is down after that. The same thing happened with the office of the White House, the Oval Office. A black man was in there, and these white tee people got so upset that we got Make America Great Again. We got Project 25. We got all types of laws. And remember when Trump was in office, judges weren't filling positions anymore. Like, come on now. Obama was black. That ain't white privilege. No, we're using corn as a way to reveal the subconscious of our enemy. They show themselves in many ways. That was just an example. But the office of the presidency, just like that corn star, in the eyes of white America, was defiled by the black president. And that's why ever since then, we've had politics looking like a total clown show. They said, if an N-word can be president, then anyone can be president. Shoot, throw Donald Trump in there. Anything, right? Someone just said it. Anything goes now. Anything goes now. And last I checked, that's not white privilege. Shoot, anybody can have it now. Whatever. We don't even care. The presidency don't even matter. We're going to take away abortion. What else? We're going to get rid of affirmative action. They've weakened the presidency. Have y'all been paying attention? Like the office of the presidency is not as important as it was back then. Obama was able to pass laws from, ganja. You know what I'm saying? He was able to pass laws for marriage for LGBT people. You know what I'm saying? He was able to do certain things, health care. Like he was able to do all of that. Ever since Obama left the office, they've made sure to weaken the power the president has. Weaken it, weaken it, weaken it, weaken it. Now we're gonna flip the Supreme Court. We're gonna do things our way, despite the presidency. So now it won't even matter who the president is. It don't matter if we have another black president. He can't do anything harmful. And Obama played along. Look at what he did to Gaddafi. He played along. He played along. Obama was one of their Obama was one of their puppets. Obama was not someone that was a liberator of black people. He wasn't even a liberator of his own people in Kenya. So Obama was no hero for us. Obama was no hero for us. But just the fact that he was black, they didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not that he did any, and then that's what he said too, in the documentary. He's saying like, there were certain things he wanted to do, but he was afraid of the white lash of America. He said he was afraid of white lash. Obama was afraid that there would be a retaliation if he were to do something too radical for his people. So he would give speeches and say, I'm not going to do anything just for black people. I'll do things for poor people. I can't do anything specifically for my own people. I don't want to show favoritism. Like he was afraid to do that. And then Donald Trump got in the office and said, watch this. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. Privilege. That's what privilege looked like. Obama having to play by their rules is not privilege. Donald Trump shows you what privilege looked like. I will commit crimes. I'm a convict. I'm going to grab him by whatever I want to grab him by. I'm going to have all of this on tape. I'm going to do all of this work to prove to you that the Oval Office, anyone can have it, even a criminal. After a black man has had it, even a criminal can have it. Never seen that before in American history. So, being raised in Hawaii by rich white granddad is privilege. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's economic privilege, if you want to call it that, coming from a middle class family. Yeah, you could say economically he was privileged, but does Kanye West have white privilege too? Does Candace Owens have white privilege now? Does Jay-Z and Beyonce have white privilege? Her Blue Ivy's parents are billionaires, much richer than Obama's grandparents. So, is Blue Ivy mixed now? You see black men running to their oppressor. I do. They have for a while, but I see mostly the oppressor running to them because black men don't dictate the rules of our environment. The oppressor does. So when the oppressor says we're going to allow interracial marriage, and then we're going to incentivize it by economically disenfranchising your own community and indoctrinating your men and women with self-hatred intentionally. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people don't understand how intentional white supremacy is. But yeah, so we're going to incentivize those that we captured from Africa, their children, into marrying into us in order to keep power over their resources that we give them, in order to keep power over the resources we allow them to have. Consent is the ability to say yes or no. When did black people in America say yes to interracial marriages? When did they, as a group, as a collective, decide that that was something they would set out to achieve, or something that they would see as ethical? And if they said no, would it have mattered? Ethics, of course, the definition that I'm using for this live is relating to morality in the sense that it avoids harm to people or the environment. Don't come up here with some other definition of ethical where you're talking about ethics as in some contract that you have with someone that can be broken, like a broken promise to someone. That would be unethical. If I promised someone I'm going to steal something and I sign a code of ethics that says I am going to steal that thing, what I'm doing is unethical. If you know if I'm harming someone, but if the contract says I have to do it, that would also be ethical. So let's use the definition as I gave: avoiding harm to people or the environment. I gotta define ethics to people that don't live by any code of ethics, I guess. Unethical people need that definition. And I'm starting to see a snow flurry of them coming in my comments right now. Some of the least ethical people tend to have the most opinions on what black people should consider ethical. But yet, you won't see any of them talk about how black oppression and racism and white privilege might make this unethical. Instead, you will see them today, black and white, but mostly every white person that I've had on this live since I've held this live has come up here to tell me what was right and wrong during my oppression that they benefit from. So they will come up here and they will argue that it is ethical. Knowing that racism exists, knowing that injustice exists, knowing that marriage is not something just about love. They're going to use love. They're going to come up and they're going to use love. This ain't about love. This is about business. This ain't about love. This is about liberation. It's a different L word that we got to focus on. But they're going to come up here. They're going to say love is love. And they're going to come up here and tell you why it is okay that those that benefit from your oppression, black man and black woman, can quote unquote love you during your oppression. They will love you, but they won't free you. They're not going to free you. They're not going to come up here and argue about how you need to be free before you can consent to loving them. They're going to come up here and say, I have a right to love whoever the hell I want. And I don't care what's going on with their community. I don't care what my community has done to them. I'm going to come up here and love whoever I want. And you have to take it. That's just that. That's what you're going to see come up here. That's all you're going to see as far as the unmelanated community. That's all I've seen. I haven't seen anyone come up here and really speak to why this question would exist in the first place. And these are the same people that marched with y'all on Black Lives Matter talking about no justice, no peace. Did y'all remember that? 2020? No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. And y'all was sitting there, and it was a bunch of Beckys to your left and to your right talking about, yeah, no justice, no peace. No justice, no. But I have love. There's love. There's love. There's no peace. There's no justice. But there's love. That's my white girl voice. There's love. Yeah. There's love. There's love in raising potato salad. Yeah, there's love. Come on, man. Yeah, love.
Dude,
what's up?
Why can't we all just get along, dude?
That was too convincing, Timothy.
All right. I had to tap into the other side real quick.
What's going on, brother?
Just tapping in one intellectual at a time.
Yes, sir.
We out here.
Yeah, we out here. I got my ring light. It's not a ring light. It's just a light. I love that. It's just a light. I don't get that ring. It's like a light. So I got a light. I got a phone holder. I got this little headset, so I don't need to scream at the top of my lungs anymore. These lives are about to be a lot more peaceful, man. I don't have to yell. I can just talk now. Anybody want to come up and give us their opinion? The floor is open. Don't stay in the comments. And if you can rub two melanated cells together, I need you to tap like on the screen. Tap like. Let's get above 25K. Tap like, brothers and sisters. If your lips are thicker than a Snicker, you know what I'm saying? You round, fine, and brown. You know what I'm saying? Some of the sisters, I know y'all in here. You know what I'm saying? If your nose has a roundness to it, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If your nose takes up a significant portion of your face, I need you to tap like. Big foreheads and bonnets, you know who I'm talking to. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them big forehead, big lip, round nose sisters and brothers. You know what I'm saying? We love all of y'all. So we love our features. Do you love our features or what? Do I have to teach y'all that too? Come on now. It's 2024. Do we love our features or what? All right. Absolutely. We are beautiful. Shout out to all the beautiful people. It be sounding like I'm joking when I say the big foreheads and bonnets, but I ain't gonna front. When you decolonize your beauty standards, them big foreheads be kind of fine, man. Like, I'll keep it real. DJ CBZ, give us your age, race, and pronouns. Hello? I don't know what's going on, but he got way too much noise to be up here. I don't know what he doing, but that was probably about to get weird. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to. Oh, Bubba, you're funny. Ethiopian women be having them high foreheads. They got them. You need two hands to cover that head. They got head before and after. They got all type of yeah. But shout out to the big forehead sisters, man. I'm gonna be honest. It's kind of fire. It's kind of fire. Can't hate on it, man. Gotta love those Afrocentric features, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We gotta take the stigma away. Decolonize brothers. If you're gonna look at wait, hold on. I'm not gonna talk to the brothers. Curbside. Give us your age, race, and pronouns.
50, white, poor white mutt, I would say, and pronoun is him, me.
All right, talk to us.
So interracial marriages, are they unethical? What do you mean by unethical? In what sense?
I didn't say unethical. I said, are they ethical?
Oh, are they ethical? I mean, you can help who you fall in love with. There was a time in my life that I would say definitely so. But yeah, I think in the end, I don't see it being an ethical issue, right or wrong, as far as keeping your race bloodline strong and pure. That's a whole nother thing. But bringing ethics into it, yeah, I think they're ethical. And how can you say someone can help who they fall in love with?
Do you believe that for most of human history, people couldn't help who they fell in love with?
No, not at all.
So when do you think it started?
If what started it was the intermingling of different races, different ethnicities, different cultures. When you propagate that and make that a culturally acceptable practice, then of course people are going to interbreed and intermarry. I mean, I think that's been going on since the dawn of time. Right or wrong, I think there was a time that people would be killed for doing it. Now
Please say unalive.
That I think brings in an ethical issue, and the reason I say that is what are your feelings on biracial people in general?
Again, I don't answer questions, I ask them. So this is kind of like an interview. We want to hear your point of view. We're just here to learn.
Okay. All right. So
yeah.
Let me give you my point of view. So I was born to a 15-year-old girl, poor white family, back in '73. I grew up in the projects in Western Kentucky. So it's not your inner city projects, but it's still projects, and it's outside of Kentucky's population. Its population is more evenly raced together. I didn't have any brothers, so some of my friends inadvertently were black children. Now, my parents were closet racist. They didn't work. They sold pot, and they had a lot.
How
of
were they in the
friends.
closet?
They I mean, behind closed doors, they told racist jokes, said racist things, used the N-word, which I did too as a child.
Are you a racist?
Growing up, No, not anymore.
When did you stop?
When did I stop? 1982.
What made you see the light?
Holding a biracial child.
I see. And do you think that holding biracial children is something that helped other white people see the light?
No, I think YT people have been seeing the light for a very long time. You've got to look at history and really look at the true facts of it. And I've went down deep rabbit holes, and I've come to the conclusion here recently that and it's my belief and my belief only that the true God's people, the chosen people that God speaks about in the Bible, are the melanated people, the black race. There's no way around it. When you look at the dawn of time, and our very first worship would be the sun, and who are the people of the sun? It's not fucking white people, YT people. I'm sorry. And now that shit, man, I forgot where I'm going with that. But it was somewhere.
So
But anyway, you get into back into history. Now my family, I look at the issue of what happened and the Jim Crow, and before that, the abominable treatment of the black race in America, and I see that, and I recognize that, and I also recognize that's something that we got to look at in a positive way too, because a lot of YT people died making sure that the melanated people had freedom. Now, when they got
I'm
freedom,
gonna
they still
stop you
cheat on?
right there.
Absolutely.
all right.
Curbside,
Wait, hold
curbside.
on.
I'm gonna stop you right
Ty.
there with the misinformation. No, sir.
Okay, all
No,
right, all
sir.
right. We know everything coming out the devil mouth going being misinformation. We know that already, sister. Still need to hear Satan out to see, more about what they say behind closed doors when we're not around. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he was getting to that. So you're saying
Oh, well,
that
they didn't say anything of hate. Just they were coming from an era of coming up where the poor people were pitted against the black community, and they lived together. And it's actually insane when you think about it, because it was made to look like the black people were taking things from the whites, and when in reality it was the whites that took from the blacks. But us poor ones that lived in there didn't have that shit. We were going through some things too. But coming up, now you calling me the devil. That I think that's a very
I thought you said you weren't a racist.
racist thing to say. I'm not.
So then, if you're not a racist, you understand how racism operates and had to.
Systemic racism? Oh yeah, 100%.
All racism
The
is
oppression,
systemic.
the keeping of the blacks in certain hoods, and yeah, 100%. I see that 100%.
So then you know you're my enemy.
If that's the way you feel, then fuck you in your mouth.
There he is.
You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't looking at you.
There he
as an
is.
enemy. What do you mean there he is? That's not a race thing. That just
No,
makes
that's
you
the
a
devil
piece of
coming out of
shit.
you. Go ahead,
No,
let
that
it out.
just makes you a piece of shit. That makes you the racist. Yeah, that's you, bro.
Hell, hey.
That is you, deluded by the devil, bro. You are deluded.
Are you
by
finished
the
or you
devil.
done? All right, we're gonna move on to the next guest. I knew Stella was about to get him up out of here. Thank you, Sister Stella. Y'all don't be slacking on these Panther paws, because y'all knew he was going to be problematic very early on. I know y'all knew that. Y'all, if somebody come up here and you want them gone, then all you have to do is send 5 Panther paws and we will move on. You know, we don't want to trigger anyone or traumatize anyone, but also sending gifts lets the algorithm know that we're getting value from the live, and it helps us reach the right algorithms. If brothers and sisters send some gifts. What's up, Stella? Nah, he had to go. Yeah, yeah, it was time. Nah, yeah. Yeah, at that point he gotta go. Yeah, he actually got disrespectful. He said he wanna do stuff to my mouth. What the that is wild. Uh, listen. Yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing, it's part of emasculating me. So, because I identified him as an enemy of my liberation. Oh, they can't hear you, Stella. It, nah, they can't hear you. So that's a TikTok thing. But yeah, that's part of emasculating me because once I identified him as the enemy, then he immediately feared for his what do they call that? Self-preservation. So they fear self-preservation. White men see black men as the biggest threat to the white community. That's why we're incarcerated the most. That's why we're unalived by police the most. That's why they make sure to economically disenfranchise us and keep us unemployed the most, so that we don't have the power to stand up against them. When I identified him as an enemy, he became hostile because he wanted to emasculate me, to put me in my place, which is part of buck breaking.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we let them talk, so that we know the C racker gonna come out of them.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? Cause I'm muted and unmuted, but I don't know if you can
Can
hear.
y'all hear her now? Can y'all hear Stella?
Cause I'm not staying up here long anyway. But
Yeah, they hear you now.
okay, cool,
Okay,
cool.
cool.
But
Go-
I just, you know me. I was like, oh hell to the no, we're not finna.
yeah.
I literally just woke up from a nap and saw that you were on, and I came and I see nonsense in the comments with this crazy talk, and
Yeah.
my finger tired already. Then I got to come up here and deal with this little saltine cracker.
Be careful, Stella. You said the word, but
I said unsaltine
I
saltine
know, I
cracker.
know.
I know I was talking about cookies.
I,
Sometimes
but
they
yeah.
got the unseasoned ones now. That's what I was talking
Oh
about.
yeah, yeah, Ritz. And,
I wasn't talking about people. I was talking about like I mean I don't like seasoned food. I don't know about everybody else. I don't like seasoned food. Um,
I mean, to be honest, if we could be real, C Raka ain't even a
it's
slur.
not even.
It's
It
not even
really is.
derogatory in any
It
way.
really is.
It's literally saying you're the one holding the whip. So,
Yeah. And seriously, in all honesty, it don't even affect them anyways.
right.
If I was addressing them, which I was
Mm-hmm.
not, I was just simply talking about which type of crackers I eat. Um, with my soup, with my unseasoned watery soup. That's all I was talking about. And I like raisins in my water and my potato salad, that type of thing. So
All
power to
right.
the YTs.
All right.
All right, let me go on about my business. Y'all
Appreciate
have
you, sister. Thank you for protecting the live.
no problem.
Go ahead, Ty. You was gonna say something, sister.
Yeah, I was gonna ask him a question, but I didn't know he was gonna take it that far. He
Yeah,
he
yeah.
started
Buck breaking.
feeling very, very fast,
It's buck breaking. They like when
which is
when when
insane.
we when we step out of line, that they have to try to lower us down a peg a little bit.
Yeah,
So
because the holding the biracial baby was the cake for me.
right, right. I used the black woman as a vehicle to have a child as an instrument, and that made me no longer racist. By the way, when we would jump the broom, somebody brought this up on my last live. When we would jump the broom because it was illegal for black men and women to get married, the white tea slave owner would have his way with our wives before our wedding night. And they also had a saying that you weren't a real man until you had a sister. You know, so that was part of their rite of passage, was to grape one of our ancestors. So when he says having a biracial child is the reason he's not racist, I just want us all to remember that there were plenty of biracial children on the plantation that were sold off because they literally made laws to say that if you had a black mother, you could be sold as property in Virginia. And that was a law that kind of like dictated slavery throughout America. And the reason for that law was so that the white slave owner could grape black women on his plantation and then sell them. So even the idea of grape would be something he could exploit to his benefit. Roger, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Hey, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. I'm 47 years old. I live in Miami, Florida, and I'm Jamaican ethnicity, but I'm a black man. I consider myself black first.
All right, talk to
Um,
us.
yeah, I mean, I was just saying, in terms of, the question, I don't know if ethical would be the word that I would use, but I definitely believe that when black people, male or female, when we date or marry outside of our race, I don't know. I can't help but get the feeling that it's kind of like a slap in the face to our ancestors. And I understand that there's some black people who are raised in completely white environments. And so a lot of the people who are around them, that's what they're used to because it's a lot of, white people. And so I guess the natural course is that they would eventually marry or get with someone from that race because they grew up around them. I could kind of understand it
That's a
in
bad
that example.
excuse. It's a bad
No,
excuse because
true.
even think of Jamaica. Isn't there like 5 families that like run Jamaica? Like, you know what I'm talking about? The families.
Hmm.
There are white tea people that have been in Jamaica for hundreds of years, and yet they are still white. So there are white tea people on an island surrounded by black people and have still remained purely European in phenotype and genealogy. And you know, like
No,
if you're going to make the excuse that proximity just naturally brings about interracial relationships, then how come it doesn't work with them?
right. No. I'm not necessarily making it as an excuse, and that is a good point. But I think the difference is they were not subjected to the anti-black socialization that black people have been subjected to the point where a white person doesn't have to be present for black people to be anti-black or for anti-blackness to be present in black people. When you've been socialized a particular way, to the point where black culture is not made known to even black people, real black culture and our history. I'm not making an excuse per se, but I can see where a black person born in growing up in a completely white tea environment could do that. But
But even
outside
that
of
would
that,
be
though,
intention. But even that would be an intentional, you know, design of white supremacy to make them anti-black in the first place, right?
no, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely, exactly. And I'm saying, but what I don't understand, and I wanted to get to this part, is people who were not raised in that environment and leave their community and end up, in an interracial situation. And especially, that's the part I don't understand. You basically bypass so much diversity within blackness. You have black Caribbean people, you have black people from the continent, you have African Americans from all over the country, from different parts of the United States, and you bypass all of that diversity and blackness to go and date someone, YT. That's the part that I really never understood.
I
I
would
just wanted,
understand it with the same context that you gave us. Anti-blackness is inherent.
absolutely, absolutely,
So,
yeah,
so they're incentivized because our communities have been so disenfranchised. They're incentivized. There's more wealth in that community. There's more social currency in having a white person within proximity to you and in your home. So inherently they're going to think that they're making some sort of progress in their personal way of mitigating the effects of systemic racism by aligning themselves with the power structure that oppresses them. You can't beat them, join them. That's what
of
they say.
course, absolutely, yeah. So I just wanted to share that, but it's really getting interesting though. But one of the things that keep me, you know, I wouldn't say sane, but keep me encouraged is that I'm seeing a lot more Black people returning to their roots, wanting to learn more about their history, wanting to learn more about where they're from, and I think that's very encouraging, and I hope that continues because I think we need that unity and sense of self and that foundational information more now than ever before. So
I agree. Thank you for sharing that with us, brother.
yeah, no problem, man.
Sister Ty, did you have anything else you wanted to add before I go to the next guest?
Nah, you can move on.
All right. Appreciate you, sister. Daru, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Age 26. Race is mixed. Pronoun is him. He, him.
Mixed isn't a race.
Don't come on my live if you don't know your race. Don't come on my live if you do not know your race. Saying that you are mixed is not a race. So, I guess, I'll be wanting to hear what y'all got to say, but y'all don't know what race is. Then don't come up here and try to talk about race. I don't go on a live about quantum physics, and I don't know nothing about physics or quantums. I don't know anything about the 11 dimensions that exist, and actually it's infinite dimensions, but 15 that have been able to be verified or whatever. If I don't know enough about that to come up and talk about it, then don't join the live. We don't want to embarrass anybody. Monoracial is not a race. The same way biracial is not a race. I'm not the same race as Donald Trump because I'm monoracial. All right, let's go to the next guest. Magic, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Black 22.
Pronouns.
Oh, she, her. Sorry, I
All
didn't
right,
hear
talk
that.
to us.
I was just chilling in the comments, but someone invited me up, so I figured why not. I'm just not really like what is needing to be ethical about the relationship if they're just two people that like each other.
I thought you said you were black.
Yeah.
So you don't understand what could possibly be unethical about relationships between black and white people?
No, as long as I said, I don't know if you saw in the comments. Me personally, as long as both partners are educated, there's no issue. Like
Racism is a team sport, not an individual. An individual can't be racist. Racism is a team sport. So it's
racist for me to be with a white man.
If Kobe is playing against Michael Jordan, because I don't watch basketball, but let's say the Bulls are playing the Lakers in the 90s, and Kobe makes a shot. Is he just shooting hoops by himself, or is he making that shot on behalf of the Lakers?
I'm not. I don't.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
There's a system. There's a team behind. No, well, if you don't understand the metaphor, just say that, and I can explain
yeah,
it. But
because the metaphor
don't.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense, but you just don't understand it. So you can ask for clarification.
Well, for me, it's like if we're gonna go back to and black people not being able to be together, like we went past segregation for a reason. Like I don't understand why we would
segregation
make steps
ended
backwards.
Do you believe segregation ended?
It's not going to end if we're going to have issues. People just loving who they want to love. No, it's not going to go away. Yeah. I don't think
so segregation ended. Is that what you're saying? You're saying we're going backwards, though. So that means that at some point it ended, right?
Segregation fully ended. I think it was more of a standstill. This is like this back and forth of people still having issues with one another. And then we're in 2024, and somehow there are still people
And
arguing
somehow you
about
can love
race is
people
behavior.
that
Like, I just
still
find it a little ridiculous.
you can somehow
Because
still
I mean,
love
I don't
people
blame
during
all
your
white people
oppression
for some of
somehow.
the actions that some white people did. Like, you can't blame a whole race
Yes, you can.
for what some section of that race did. Like,
Yes, you
they should
can
be educated. Like, my husband is very
when
well
Kobe
educated
Bryant
on
makes
the
a
history.
shot,
He knows
oh,
what
your
his
husband. Now
ancestors.
we're getting to it.
Okay, you
So
keep making
your
the
husband
basketball
is your
analogy.
husband. If I make a bowl of Cocoa Puffs, does your husband resemble the milk more than the cereal? Because that's what it sounds like.
I mean, you could just ask. My husband's white. You could have just asked. I mean,
There
I'm
you
up
go.
here, so I
There
mean,
you go.
yeah, I'm in an interracial
All right, so
relationship. I
you're here on
figured
his
that's who
behalf
you
to
are.
defend him, right? So that's
I'm not
what you're
here on
here.
his behalf. I'm defending
And this
myself.
is
What
part
are
of
you
the reason
talking
that it
about?
becomes unethical, because even when black people
I
talk
came up here
about,
because I don't understand why you have an issue with interracial
No, you're
relationships. It's
defending.
because
You
of
you came up
my
here to defend
personal
your white
opinion.
husband. That's why you came up. So we understand.
she speaks on behalf of her master.
Yep.
Hey, shout out to Sister Stella. Thank you for the Panther Paws Queen. All right, we're gonna go to the next guest. Auntie, what's going on?
Hey, Ma says we sick.
Our house is on fire.
Okay, I mean, she should have just came up and said she married to a white man and she gonna defend her stance. They killed me going all the way around the barn and through the woods and come on back. If you want to swim in the milk, drown in it for all I care. My thing is this: you cannot, your little hubby. You and your little hubby together against the world. What is the world doing? The world is anti-black. So y'all can create a little bubble that you live in so y'all can be happy, because that's certainly gonna have to be a bubble, because time you step outside that damn door, you
Right.
already know what time it is. Man, these people are just rich. That's all I can say. It is just rich. I'm still recovering from earlier today being on a live talking about Eminem
Oh boy.
being a goat.
Oh no.
Man.
Please tell me
Woo.
this wasn't a black space.
Yeah, well, the sister handled his ass, handled the people calling up. But yeah, it was a black space, and you would not believe how many black people think that he in the top 5 of all time greatest rappers ever.
But yeah, when Beyonce got the #1 country album, they didn't even want to put her on the radio station.
Thank you.
They refuse to acknowledge Beyonce as one of the top 5 country singers.
Exactly. And we
She broke
created
records.
country. See,
Right.
that's the other thing. Just like we created rap or hip hop or whichever two you want to call it, we created country music too. So she got every right in the world to come up and have a hit. Unlike Eminem's PWT behind trying to be the GOAT in something he did not create. I was like, are y'all kidding me?
Look in the comments. Somebody just said their white husband is the GOAT in social justice. I am married to a white man, and he has done more social justice than you. See, we elevate
First of all, bed wench, you don't know nothing about me, first of all. Second of all, I don't give a doggone if he didn't marched in every march, carried every sign, did whatever. His people are the reason why he's got to be in activist. So please miss me. It
I know
kills
that's
me, these
right.
people. You don't know he didn't do. What has he done? We still oppressed.
You definitely came on the
God,
wrong
just
live
go
for that one.
ride that little pink toe and go on about your business.
Absolutely. Thank you, Auntie. Let me go to the next guest. CJRN, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please. You're muted. We can't hear you. I'm gonna try to.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Did I fix it?
Yeah, we hear you now. Give us your age, your race, and then your pronouns.
44, white, and woman, girl, her.
All right, talk to us.
So I'm just frustrated with this because it's like all this love is love and all that other stuff. Like, it would not be ethical for a therapist to sleep with their client. Relationships can be outside of ethics, and it doesn't matter if that person would say, oh, well, I love my client, and the client says, oh, I love them. It is completely possible for relationships to be outside of ethics.
And so, in your opinion, would the black person be the client, or would they be
The client.
okay? And what makes them the client? What would give them the disadvantage in an unethical relationship?
The lack of, I think that the white person would have the the social power in the situation.
Okay. And
So that's why I'm saying, like, if we look at it in another type of relationship, we would be quite all right with saying it's unethical and not love is love.
okay. And I guess I don't have any more questions. Does anyone else have a question? Okay.
It was just a point I wanted to make because it's kind of driving me crazy. As I'm watching this, I'm like, do you guys listen to hear yourselves? Like, you're not thinking about it critically.
And so, would you marry a black person?
Okay, well, I am married to a black person. I got married. Well, I've been with him for over 20 years, and when we were kids, things were different. And as I see things now, after I've educated myself and learned more stuff, it's definitely a different situation, and it's a situation for our son as well, who is black. So,
What was different when you were young?
I think that I didn't have, I don't think, I certainly know that I didn't have the knowledge that I have now.
Okay. And so, now that you have this knowledge, what have you done to correct that error? Sorry, I got dogs here. Well, go ahead.
Oh, we have dogs too. I, of course, I have seen your show before and know some of the things, but I definitely would say that I'm not racist or anti-racist. Definitely not to the level of saying that I'm pro-black, but I work to strive for those things to get better. I mean, I don't understand what mother wouldn't want the best for her son. So if I'm not looking to make a world that's better for him or equal for him in any way possible, then I've failed him straight out the gate. And I mean, the situation is what it is. We're already where we are, and all I can do is work on it from there.
Okay, so you would agree that your marriage is unethical?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would, because I mean, in just so many ways, and so many things could have went sideways, so many times, and he would have been in a worse place than I, for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead, Auntie. You want to say something? I
No,
got
I was
dogs
just gonna
barking.
say,
Y'all can
how
talk.
does your husband feel about things now over the years?
About,
Would he say your marriage is unethical?
we have discussions about that, and we come to the same point on that. Is our marriage unethical? Can it be? Yes. So that was his answer. Sorry, he agrees with that.
Mm.
So then why are y'all still married?
Oh, well, because he's my person, he's my husband. We are committed to each other. We're not going to be divorced because of the choices that we made at that point. We can work to make it better, work to fix it, but we're still going to work together.
So if the therapist were to marry and love their client and then understood that that was unethical, you're saying that they would have to then work to make it somehow okay?
No, they would definitely. It is, of course, there's nuances to every little thing. They would, somebody would have to give up some side of that relationship, obviously. And this is not the case in our relationship. I don't get to give up being white. He doesn't get to give up being black. Or sorry, white tea, my bad. I'm sorry. So that is not the case that we find ourselves in, that, maybe the therapist could, choose a different profession, do whatever. If they wanted to continue the relationship, that's obviously quite different. And we don't have that kind of a choice.
But
And I don't think that would be the answer.
in this scenario, the therapist would still be a therapist as long as, let's say, a prisoner and a prison guard, another power dynamic that would make a relationship unethical. Yes? No?
A prisoner and
A warden.
yeah, okay,
All right. So the reason that you said the black person would be a client of the therapist was because of systemic oppression, and the same would apply to this scenario. As long as systemic oppression continues to exist, that relationship would still be unethical. No. So
Well,
then,
you can't talk out of both sides of your neck. Now, I understand what you said, but deep down, you all are still gonna be together, and you're gonna stay married, and and nobody's trying to break them up for the asshole in the comments that's saying that. But anyway,
I wasn't reading them.
it was a little it's disingenuous in the sense that it's like, you're an alcoholic, but you're gonna keep drinking anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's okay. I mean, you all are gonna do what you're gonna do, and you can stay married and you can do whatever. But I just find it a little unethical that you can know what we're talking about and understand the definition of how we're coming, and that applies to everybody but you.
Right.
Seriously.
Yeah, I get, I 100% get what you're saying. And like I said, when I was younger, I certainly didn't understand that. I can't speak if my husband did or not. And it's just come of understanding more and seeking to know more. But it's not something that it's not something that I can throw away 20 years for, and that's just where I'm at.
I think it was interesting when I would think it's interesting when she said he was her person.
I'm his person.
Not as much as he's yours.
Fair.
It's always gonna come out, honey. It's okay. Like I said, nobody's trying to talk y'all into the divorce court. It is what it is. That's what we are always preaching, in the sense that this goes so deep. I don't care what understanding you think you have. A lot of stuff still boils down to the same common denominator. That's all. That's all we saying.
I fully agree. I definitely don't have as much knowledge as I could have, and I will never.
You'll never have enough. See, that's the thing with YT people, once again, centering themselves all the time. You'll never have enough knowledge. I don't care if y'all live together for 1,000 years and you read 1 trillion books. You never, ever, ever are gonna get it and know enough. It's just as simple as that. And it's okay. You did what you wanted to do. He did what he wanted to do. Hopefully your child ain't going to be confused. But the bottom line is that's how that linear thinking that YT people have, that, well, okay, if I learn enough and I experience enough and we be together long enough and blah, 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 then I can get here and make an analogy that everyone can understand about how unethical interracial marriage is, blah, 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 blah. But then you still in it and you still doing it and you still you.
Because it would be uncomfortable for you to do away with that unethical relationship. It would be something that you would not want to do. You wouldn't benefit from it in your eyes. So
Right. And
in
that's
defense.
okay.
Yeah.
But then by the same token, don't talk out of both sides of your neck. That's all. That's it.
All right.
All right, thank you guys.
Yep. Thanks for coming up. Daru, you're back once again. Give us your age, race, and pronouns.
So again, I'm 26. Now, before you want to hit the unclick button, the U.S. government labels me as a black person. But when I'm within the black community, I grew up in Detroit. I went to DPS schools. I have had the black experience, if that's what you want to call it in quotes. I do apologize if my voice sounds Caucasian because I choose to speak within the proper English. With that being said, being mixed is just the mix of two cultures. That is what being biracial is, or mixed.
No, it's not.
That is the literal definition.
No, it's not. Multicultural would be the definition of having two or more cultures. Biracial would be a person whose origin, whose parents are more than one race, two different races. So that's the difference between race and culture. Also, you spoke to saying that you speak proper English. Would you say African American English is improper English?
No, I just choose to speak like this, but, as you can see from the comments, I'm getting called this white man. And it's just really funny because, even the U.S. government, as a black person, I go by black because that's what my skin is. If you ask me deeper about my roots, I don't know where my black comes from. I can go Detroit, Arkansas for my grandfather. My great-great-great-grandmother is Lakota Indian when I did my blood test. And then I am Italian and I want to say Sicilian. So
why are you telling us this?
Because I'm giving you a different lineage of the races that I am mixed with, making me a mixed race person because I am more than two races.
Most black people in the United States have parents of, or I'm sorry, not parents, but ancestry of a blend of different races. Blackness is not a monolith. However, what you said makes you no different than any other black person. I don't know why you brought it up.
And unfortunately, due to the past, I can't go back more than a few hundred years on my black side to know where I'm really from. And blood tests will only do so much for you. On that, with the topic being said, are interracial marriages between black and white people ethical? You guys are saying it's unethical, and that is basically dismissing my existence or me as a person, that, I am lesser than both people. By saying that it's unethical, you're saying that my existence is unethical in a sense. That means that you think
I thought you said you were black.
What do you get? You said earlier if you mix milk and chocolate milk, you get chocolate milk.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. So
So,
you're black. So what does
as
that
a
have to do
black
with your
person
exist?
mixed
What
with
is
many races, because even sitting here,
there is no black person that is not mixed with other ethnicities or races on this planet. Like we are all at some point mixed with something. Even on the continent of Africa, they're mixed with other people that would still be considered black, but the continent of Africa has the most genetic diversity of any continent. Someone in London is more closely related genetically to someone in Japan than someone from Nigeria is to someone in Ethiopia. So there's greater genetic variation in the black community than any other people group on earth because all other genetic variations that exist in other quote unquote races
yeah. So
exist in the black community.
you're
So
just explaining that people mix races.
right.
So how does that make it
So
unethical?
no,
Is my
what I'm saying
question.
is how does your biracial identity or biracial origin rather fit into this conversation about blackness? Like, do you think it makes you different than the rest of us that you have parents of, I'm sorry, lineage of other races, like different ancestry? Do you feel that makes you special?
Oh, I mean, I feel no different, but being in the black community, I always have it called out all the time.
Because
And
Why
you
do you?
acting
people
the
who
way
call
you
me
Cause
act.
out
because of
is in the
what you
black
just
community,
said.
whether I say it or not. Even if
Man.
I don't bring up that I'm mixed race,
Right,
people
you
will
went
always
on
ask, "What are you mixed with?
23andMe and
What
now
are
you
you
feel
mixed with?"
special. You went on 23andMe and now you feel special because you found out you a little spicy with like everybody else, and
No, I
it
actually
doesn't
just
make
have
any
history
sense.
books and
No,
notes in
apparently
my
you are
family
not
tree.
studying any history because of what you just said and everything that you said apparently is not based in history. So please go educate yourself before you start talking on panels. I mean, it's no offense to you. Nobody has a problem with you being one white parent, one black parent. People don't have an issue with that. It's how you're coming up here representing yourself. Good grief.
Good grief! Absolutely. Shout out to Thankful. We're gonna move the conversation along, y'all. I need y'all to keep tapping like. We gotta get to 50K likes. Brothers and sisters, if you're in here, tap like, share the live with some of your melanated family members, you know what I'm saying? Some of your melanated brothers and sisters. That's who the live is for. This live is for us to educate, to understand, and to talk about critically the idea of interracial marriage and how it affects our people. Let's go to the next. Oh, so go ahead, brother Timothy. You ain't said much. You want to say something?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, did Daru ever think that maybe the reason why he was getting so much pushback from our African family is because of him saying nonsensical stuff like that, not knowing who the hell he is while going into black spaces? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's a very clear telltale sign of when people are looking at you, our own African family are looking at you, and they know based off of that alone, your responses not aligning with what is within the best interest of the black community as a black person, they can tell that. And for you to think that, oh, well, black people, my own black community doesn't, it's nonsense. Maybe if you actually unapologetically stood 10 toes down in your Africanity, then you would have a little bit more of a acceptance experience. But apparently you want to blame the black community for issues that you have. But
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's go to the next guest. Susie, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please. I think it's Susie One Love. Give us your age, race, and pronouns. We cannot hear you. Susie, we can't hear you. You got to unmute your mic. Going once. Going twice. They steal African resources from the Congo to make these phones, and they do not know how to use them. All right. So I guess she can't come off mute. Anybody else that wants to come up, feel free. Feel free. Come on up. We want to have a discussion about the topic above. Susie, I'm going to drop you if you can't unmute your mic. 3,
And the
2.
prompt does say marriages. Everybody keeps jumping up here. It says marriages
Right.
for the
Yep.
love of God.
Yep. We're talking about the institution of marriage. We're not just talking about relationships and love. We're talking about a financial institution of marriage. Well, it's not, I mean, I guess it's a financial arrangement, but it's an institution itself. Poetic Logic, what's going on? Give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Yeah, what's going on, brother? It's
Peace.
Black Logic, 36, Black, African, he and him.
All right, talk to us.
Yeah, I do hope for a little bit of patience with me. I haven't been feeling well, so I'm still trying to, go through it.
All right, yeah, talk to us.
All right, so when it comes to interracial marriages between black and white people, it is not ethical. I mean, people need to understand that it goes way beyond people's personal feelings on this matter. We really have to look at society and whether or not the whole process between these marriages actually does anything to benefit our respective communities. Now, I've yet to see any sort of concrete benefit. Racism hasn't ended. Racism hasn't disappeared. And while it's easy to say, hey, love is love, there's still oppression. There's still oppression to this very day. So, I just think that it's very funny when you hear that from other people. That is, love is love, and
Absolutely.
the tokenization.
Yeah, we had somebody come up here tokenize their husband and their child. We had a white T man come up here, tokenize his child, say he's not racist, then proceed to try to emasculate me on this live. Something that they are known far and wide to do once we step out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, I noticed the relationship. It's more akin to like, ownership of a pet or something like that. It's like, so I'm just saying, if people aren't paying attention, this is the stuff that you got to look at.
Absolutely. There's a video going around right now. I'm not sure how many brothers and sisters in here saw this video of this German woman saying that basically the Black American women are loud, and she said she was clean. I don't know if she meant to imply that Black women are not clean. But she also said, I'm feminine, and that's the reason he's with me, and he came from this broken family, and she's talking about him like she found him in an animal shelter. And it's just like
You see?
and
You see?
yeah.
I mean, listen, hey, for most of these people don't even use washcloths, so they want to mix you with that stuff, that not clean stuff. You
Right.
literally had people who had to teach you how to clean yourself. So let's just get that straight.
I wanted to. I'm pondering back and forth of making a video about that video because I've seen a lot of passport. I don't want to call them bros. They passport hoes, and they just praising this woman as if she was eating. But I just want to let the sisters in here know she does not speak for us. They are not like us, all right? Like Kendrick said, they not like us. Those men that want to be treated like they from an animal shelter do not represent Black men. White masculinity seeks to find in their wife what they had with their mother. Zestiness in the form of in zestiness, you know what I'm saying, is something Europe centric. If you watch the show The Boys, there's a character on there that represents white supremacy. I forget his name. He's like a superhero, like Superman, but he has like a
Homelander.
Homelander, right?
Homelander.
And Homelander, in his relationship with white tea women that he likes, he, you know, how Jamaicans say "suck your mother," like he does that, you know, and wants their milk because that's the peak of white masculinity is to be treated like a baby.
Uh-huh.
You know, to have a woman that lets him talk over her and he gets to basically just do anything he wants and is able to, you know, use her body for comfort, you know, things like that. Like the woman is just there as his support blanket, you know, and that's not a level of masculinity or manhood or an ideal that is from Africa. That's not our idea of what a man is. So you know, some of us brothers think that finding a woman that treats us like a mother should is what we should look for in a wife, and it's problematic. You know, a real man doesn't need his wife to be a mother. You know, in my home with my wife, I'm the father, she's the mother to our future born child, but she's not my mother. She's not someone that I would look to, you know, for comfort. I need to be able to find that comfort in myself, you know, before I even get into a marriage. So it is not the black woman's job to cook, clean, and shut up when a man is talking. And that's not even how we get down in the first place. Any black man that's looking for what white men want is not someone that should be, you know, talking about this topic in the first place.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do feel that considering how we've been colonized by this Eurocentric system, especially when it fools us into thinking what is masculinity and what is femininity, you know, we get caught up into these divisive kind of roles that we have for ourselves. You know,
Mm,
this is why like most men with the gender wars are like a big thing right now. You know what I mean?
hmm And the African definition of manhood and masculinity included balance of feminine and masculine energies and your mental health, your spiritual health, and your physical health. Balancing these energies, we should all be balanced. Balanced is how is what made us men. The ability to provide. Um, that doesn't mean the ability to gain capital. That doesn't mean being the sole provider, but the ability to be the resource bringer and foundation for our family is something that you honestly, a good example my wife brings up is her grandfather wanted to give his grandchildren bicycles, and you know, he couldn't afford bicycles for everyone. He figured out how to build bicycles. That is a black man. That is a man that makes sure his family has what he needs. A man that defines himself by the number of dollars in his bank account is not manhood. Manhood is making sure that I will sell peanuts on the street corner. You know what I'm saying? You know, I won't do anything that will endanger my freedom so that now I'm not here to be that man in my family's life, but rather, instead of trying to make capitalistic gain my identity and representative of my manhood only requires that I make sure my family has whatever they need. And if they need someone to make breakfast in the morning, I'm that. If they need someone to clean the house, I am that. Like, that's manhood, making sure that no matter what's going on, that you are able to adapt to whatever your family needs. That is an African man. Um, Go ahead, Poetic Logic.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do wish that we had more examples of what that masculinity actually looks like from black men, so
There's a
that the
book
next,
about it.
yeah, so that the next generation that they can have that example. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you want to know more, anybody that's listening, I always got a book. I always got a like. That chef that says, "Yeah, I got a bev." Like that's me. I got a book. Um, the book Kawan by Dr. Juwanza Kunjufu, someone that smart sister here introduced me to. Y'all should follow her as well. She's a sister with a lot of knowledge and a lot of resources I use on my content, on my lives, and my videos, everything. Came from knowledge shared to me by our elder here. But Dr. Juwanza Kunjufu has a book called Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys, where he talks about our need in our community to redefine masculinity back to its original African definition and not the Eurocentric definition, where it includes dominance over women and we need women to be submissive to us. Like, that's not the African definition. The African definition of manhood is, like I said, adapting to whatever your family needs. You know what I'm saying? I'll build, if my family needs a house, I will build a house, whatever it is. What are you sharing with us, Timothy?
Another good resource is definitely the book that you referenced. I'm gonna have to get a screenshot and add that to the library. But another good resource is this book here. It is considered the oldest book in the world.
Yep.
This was written by a African man that lived in the Black African civilization of Kemet, ancient Egypt, and he was giving instructions to his spiritual son. His, in modern day terms, we would identify that as a adopted son. He was about 110 years old when he wrote this. His name was Ptahhotep. He lived around 2,200 and change BC, so 4,200 plus years ago. Yeah.
Y'all don't know how long ago that was. Like, we talk about history a lot, but that's a long ass time ago. Like, you can't imagine how long ago that was. But go ahead, brother.
No, it's like he was giving instructions to his spiritual son on how to live a divine life, and he was giving.
Wait. So, Timothy, you're saying that Africans had writings?
Oh
that
yeah.
So you're telling me they had literacy?
Oh yeah, tens of thousands of years. There's evidence that shows that we had ancient writing systems that date back tens of thousands of years ago. So,
Wait, so the Europeans, you mean the Greeks and the Romans, aren't the ones that created the writing system, and that the Iliad is not the first book?
oh no, definitely not. If anything, the Iliad and the Odyssey, those are all basically copies of ancient African concepts that were eventually taught to the Greeks because the Greeks were begging for that knowledge from our ancient African ancestors. So, yeah.
All right, y'all. That book is a very good resource if you want to know more about who we are and where we come from. And then you look at our young boys today who have the highest illiteracy rate, and you wonder, how do we go from teaching them how to read to now not being able to read ourselves? Isn't that interesting? It's almost like it's intentional. Let's go to the next guest. Walking, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Let me take my earpiece out real quick. Yes, I am 44, African American, and I go by her, she, I guess you would say. Yeah.
All right, talk to us.
I'm trying to. Okay. So my perspective on interracial dating and marriages are from the perspective of our self love. If our level of self love and honor for ourselves, particularly starting with Black men, because Black women tend to be more race loyal. If Black men could unpack a lot of their anti-blackness. A lot of in their competition. I feel like there's a lot of competition with white men that they're not honest about. Honestly, I don't think there will be much interracial dating or marriage on their end. I think that most of their reason for dating outside of their own race is sometimes seems financial on some level, but truth of the matter is, I think it's more psychological and possibly spiritual. But I'm not going to get that deep into the spiritual side of it. But I think a lot of the psychological things is just as simple as I'm gonna try to say this as fast as possible. This is something that actually happened in my family, but it was generations ago. So basically, my peoples are from Alabama. There was a story that went on through the family, and it goes down to this day that basically it was a woman in our family. She was basically a slave, and the master would roll over on the bed, and he would roll over on the bed, and he would sleep with her while she was on the floor, and then he would roll back over, obviously, and get back on his bed and sleep with his wife. And I thought about that, and I kind of put that together with this movie called Queen, and I kind of really realized like uh, the reason why I think, and I now this might be a reach to some people, and this is just a theory, so I'm just playing with this thinking is in my mind over and over again, is that the black man and the white woman have I thought about that black woman. Actually, that person in our family, he came over to her. The end of the story is he came over to her out of slavery and tried to get with her again. It was like basically saying, professing some sort of fake love to her. And she had some sort of tool in her hand, and she took that tool and she chopped his horse in half. So that's why the story is even told in the family, because it's kind of like a story of being like victorious. But so I thought about that white woman that was laying in that bed, and I thought about that movie Queen, and it was parts of that movie Queen. I'm not going to go too deep into that because I'm trying to tell the whole idea, the whole theory. I realized that there's a connection that black men have specifically to white women is a soul tie of wanting to get back at the white man. And this is just, like I said, it's a theory I'm playing with. I'm not, this is not nothing written in sand. It's just, maybe it could be just an opinion. And I think what a lot of black men have to unpack, what they realize, when people think of soul ties, people think of sex. Soul ties are not just sex. You can have soul ties with friends. So the soul tie is that white woman had to sustain, and she had to tell herself to stay in that situation because she had very little power in that situation. She had to be mad at the black woman instead of be mad at her own man. If she couldn't let herself be mad at her own man, because she'd be mad at her own man, then she had to have the consequences of being mad at her own man, and whatever that would take. And white men have been known to kill their women.
Please say unalive.
Oh, white tea.
Unalive.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
White tea. Is that better?
Yeah, I was talking about when you said the K word, K-I double hockey sticks.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
underline. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. So with that being said, I saw this connection, and I saw because of the type of work that I do, of helping people overcome narcissistic abuse, and the black woman has nothing. The BLK woman has nothing in common with the white T man, but the BLK man has something in common with the white man, with the white
What
T
would
man,
that be?
and that is they're both men. And then so there's a little leverage of power, and so what a lot of times BLK men are doing with white T women,
When did the white man consider black men?
when never. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about that commonality, not necessarily if he gave him respect or honor or treated him as a man. I'm saying
So then they don't have that in common.
They do have that in common, whether someone acknowledges or not.
What do they have in common?
They're both males. They're both men. Okay, they're both men in the world. They walk down the street. They're both men.
No, they're not. I would argue that
are.
once you're black, you're a prisoner of war. There are male and female prisoners of war, but to say that the white supremacist looks at a black man and
I'm
says, well, we're both men. So, I just had a white man come on this live and emasculate me because I acknowledged that he was my enemy.
um
Um, but
uh,
I also
to
wanted
say
to speak to what you said earlier about black women being more race loyal. Would you say that black women harbor less anti-blackness than black men do?
um I think if to be honest, I cannot calculate who has the most or who has the least. I will say that in my experience of dealing with BLK women, and I deal with a lot because of the type of work I do. Um, Black women are BLK women are more. They desire to have a social. Their social um, amongst black people, amongst BLK people. And I feel like a lot of BLK men um, somehow want to socialize more with YT people on some level or another, even if it's just whether it's for money or whether it's for
Name a
just
relationship where or I would say name several, because I can think of several relationships where, for example, behind me, Michael Jordan definitely has more money than she does. There are many basketball players that have more money than their white counterpart.
it's not about
Um,
the more money
but I'm
part
saying
of it.
you said they do it. You said they do it for money. So I'm saying
No, no, because the money doesn't come from the actual woman having money. It's not like they're doing it because they setting up a situation where the woman is taking care of their bills. Although that does happen, but that's not the way it is. It's the way. Okay, so I'd have to explain this biblically. So if anybody here is not a Christian,
are
they
you
may not
talking about the
understand this.
King James Version Bible?
I'm going to say the King James Version of it. So
That's the
the Bible says
Eurocentric book used to
so so
enslave us.
okay, let me just get my point out. You have your point, I have my point. Um, so the Bible says, "Who should find a wife should find a good thing and obtain favor, um, and obtain favor from the Lord." Okay, so even though that is a spiritual thing, it still has a physical manifestation in the
What you just said
world.
wasn't spiritual. That's religious.
Actually, it's both. Um, Actually, it could be seen as both, and
Yeah,
so I'm
but
not going to go back and argue about that. But let me just get my point
Sister, the
out.
problem is that you're using biblical terms that in and of themselves were used to mentally and psychologically enslave us to
Oh
shift
man,
blame towards the
all
brother.
right.
that's not.
Shout out to Thankful for the pause, for the pause, for the pause. Big up to the sisters that held it down in the comments. This ain't that kind of live where we're going to sit here and talk about who's more anti-black, the black man or the black woman. We know that is a problem that exists inherently in all black people. We all have to unpack it. That's the idea of black women being more race loyal is somewhat of a misnomer. Let's unpack it real quick. Black women do marry outside the race less than black men do, and we love that. At the same time, because of anti-blackness and inherent racism, black women are deemed the least desirable women by the system of white supremacy. They're also heavily disenfranchised. And when they're not, we get Alice Walkers, we get Maya Angelou's, we get I don't know if y'all want to consider her black. I just can't think of many examples. But what's the vice president's name? Kamala Harris. When black people get to a certain level, a certain tax bracket, all of a sudden white T people start to come around. Right, Whoopi Goldberg. That's when white T people start to come around. But It's not to say that black women are just more race loyal. It means that there's also disrespect from other races where they don't see our black women as beautiful, especially with Eurocentric beauty standards. They don't know how to value our sisters. It's not only just because black women have held us down, which they have, but it's also part to do with the dehumanization of black women and how they're seen in an anti-black society. Poetic Logic, were you going to say something?
Yeah, it was actually a question that I had. I didn't want to like mess up with your point, but it was actually in reference to the B1 initiative. The document that you wanted us to have us sign, where is it located?
Uh, mention my name. Just put at Brother Legend
Okay.
in the Discord in the chat, and we'll talk about it there.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right. All right. So yeah, where were we? Yeah, this whole thing where black men versus black women, we don't do that on this live. It doesn't make any sense. She said a lot of things. Did anyone else want to speak to what she said?
Yeah, I mean, it's just see, the problem is that in the constructs of racism, white supremacy, it's there is no such thing as black men being actually seen as men. There is no such thing as us actually being able to fully engage in being men. Although we may be able to walk down a dark alleyway and relatively be somewhat okay, at the same time, what could be lurking in the shadows is a police officer with a grudge. So
Yeah.
it's a different, yeah, it's a different level of concern, but it's the same oppression.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
the same.
Male and female prisoners of war get treated differently. They grape the women and they unalive the men. When you're a prisoner of war, you don't have control over your environment. And your environment is innately or inherently hostile towards you, right? That puts you on a battlefield. We live in an environment of racism, white supremacy, that is inherently hostile towards all black people, male or female. And that means that we are prisoners of war because we don't have the ability to exert what's in our people's best interest, or what Malcolm X would call self-determination. That's something that we have to build for ourselves. However, in this current environment, we don't have that. So that makes us prisoners of war. The war is on Africa. We are representatives of Africa. And so, that being the case, we are prisoners behind enemy lines. And prisoners get treated differently, whether they're male or female. What happened to the women in the concentration camps is not the same thing that happened to the men in the concentration camps. They had a different quote unquote experience, but that overall experience was because of the same thing, the same environment. So we do need to tread lightly on that, or navigate a certain amount of nuance when we talk about the differences between how black men and black women are treated. However, we shouldn't conflate it with a different form of oppression or black men's ability to assimilate into manhood, something that they have been vehemently denied over and over and over again. Even here on this live, someone tried to attack my masculinity. I'm not even going to mention how, but I think we all just got a clear example of that. So anybody else that wants to come up, feel free to send a request. If you got something to speak on the topic today, we're talking about our interracial marriages between black and white people, ethical. We talk about ethical, we mean, is it relating to something that avoids harm done to people or an environment? So in this case, it would be people. Does interracial relationships avoid doing harm to black people? That's another way to kind of word the question. The idea of interracial marriage, of course, being something that black people never consented to in the first place. And if they did express that they didn't consent, what would that have accomplished? It didn't. It wouldn't stop the Supreme Court of mostly white judges from doing what they wanted to do in the first place. So you can't even say they have the ability to consent if if they can't reject something. What happens if you grew up in a white community and when more black women came in, I was too white? What do you mean by that, Curtis? How are you too white? What do you mean by that? Do you eat with a spork? Do you eat like, I don't know. What do you mean by that? Do you use a spork? I don't know. I think white people, they buy like sporks, right? Because I always look at that at the mall. Like we get like not the mall, at the grocery store. We get like plastic spoons and forks, but then there's sporks. I'm like, who the hell uses these? I don't know.
The last time I used a spork was in the school to prison pipeline.
Right. Yeah. That is a great way to put it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the school to prison pipeline.
I'm offended.
You got jokes.
I'm offended. I just used one at the gas station when I got my ticket.
What could you have possibly been eating at a gas station, Stella?
Hey, I live in the South. We got good fried chicken and Southern meals. I'm black. I see just as many white tea people in there tearing that chicken up, buying it before I can get it. And they have very good mac and cheese and dirty rice in there, and they give you sporks. So I have spork. I live in the South. I ain't talking about these weird places where you go and get some chicken and you don't know if it was chicken or God knows what else it was. But yes, I did have a sport. I used that sport proudly the other day.
Hell yeah.
That's sport.
Hey, it was a good weapon too. It got pointy.
Okay.
I'm in the Midwest. Oh, they love the gas station. Oh, y'all funny, man. Y'all out here eating gas station sushi. Oh my.
I would not recommend that. I would not recommend that unless you do not value your life. I would not.
Well, somebody eating it, they wouldn't be selling it.
Yeah, and they eating it, but are they making repeats to them? Because those same people, they may not be seen again. Be it in the arms of the angels.
That's where you're going next after eating that stuff.
Timothy might.
Timothy, you want to keep quiet on this.
I'm gonna speak up on this one. Listen,
you and your questionable food choices.
Timothy might bring some to the doggone house for the potluck.
I'm gonna bring all the food to the potluck, and y'all gonna like it.
No, we not.
Yes.
For those of y'all that don't know, Timothy enjoys peanut butter and jelly grits.
Oh my God. What it is.
He like to fry the grits up and they smear peanut butter and jelly in between.
They trying to take my black card away for putting
I told you your black card got turned into a crystal critter already. You don't got one.
That is not a black card revocable offense. I had a conversation with the committee. They told me not.
What committee? What committee?
He do got pictures with Dr. Umar. I think he might know the committee.
Right.
Shoot. Dr. Umar said,
well, I like sugar on my grits, Timothy, so I'm a little bit on your side. I do eat butter and sugar on my grits.
No.
You know what? My mom do the same thing. I ain't going front.
The whole time, the most trash talking about the sugar and the grits, and yes,
no, we talking about jelly on grits. That's something different.
Right, that is a little different, Timothy.
It ain't different at all.
Sweet, but damn.
It ain't even grape jelly. It's strawberry jelly at that.
Oh no.
Listen, y'all ain't gonna be sleep on the strawberry jam, all right? I'm just letting you know.
Timothy needs to decolonize his palate.
I'm not
Forgive him,
kidding.
y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we gonna
he
work
got
with
some
it.
work to do, y'all. He got some work to do
That's
on himself.
okay.
We still love him. We
Yeah,
still
we
love
sure
him.
do.
He
That's
that
my
special.
nephew. Don't
Yeah,
mess with him.
he that special cousin. You know, he that special cousin. We just kind of like we don't say much about him.
Well, you know, if you wasn't family, we wouldn't be playing the dozens on you. So you
Oh,
Exactly.
know.
That's
exactly.
true. Right. And that's the thing with a lot of biracial people is that when we play the dozens with them, they experience that and they think that that's coming at them. You know what I'm
They
saying?
Right.
get butt hurt.
Right.
And you
Because
know, as we all know, but to share with the audience, playing the dozens was another psychological way we as a people toughened our kids up. You know, by you playing the dozens, somebody talking about your mama, so fat she giving a tub stretch marks. That is just something that we do to toughen ourselves up.
right.
It's always we are so brilliant that that's what we do, and a lot of people don't understand that. But that's where the trash talking and all of that comes from to
Yeah.
get us mentally stronger. So
Yeah.
you're not such a thin skin, you can't take stuff. So that's
Yep.
where. So we love you if we playing the dozens on you.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm about to go meet with some family over the weekend, next weekend, and me and my wife we flying to Philadelphia, and I know they're gonna get me about these TikTok lives.
Right.
So we thought you was gonna have a kufi on.
Right.
they gonna get me. I know. I'm waiting for it.
Where your bean pie at, man?
Right, yo.
Bean pie, my brother.
You know
Yeah.
what I saw for the first time in years yesterday driving? I
Mm.
saw what is it, a brother out there with his suit on with the paper and the bean pie on the corner.
What?
I was
Yeah.
shocked as heck. I haven't
They
seen that since
still
I was
there.
a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
still there.
And it was 100 degrees outside, so I was like, Lord, he needed some water.
Girl. Yeah, how they kept that suit on and that.
Bow tie and everything. Bow tie, had the hat, bow tie. I was like, okay, my brother. All right. But nothing but love for you, but I ain't stopping. Let me go around this corner.
No final call for you, huh?
No, no. No.
Yo, we got somebody new up here.
What's
Anwar,
up?
what's going on, brother? Give us your age, race, pronouns.
Brother, he ain't new. He was here yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I just tell him to introduce himself.
You know who I am, brother. And
Yeah, I
war,
know.
and war. Late 30. I'm gonna say that much. Late 30, almost 40. Black.
All right.
I wanted to ask you a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you had. I don't know if your mod. I don't know how that works. The mod thing. I don't know how that works. I don't really do lives because I really don't know. You know how to work this thing that good yet.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all never gave me a chance to explain the point that I was getting to about the question yesterday. When I said that black men are stronger than women, I wasn't saying it like that. I was saying
I forgot about that conversation. Yeah, they panther pawed you down. You see?
Yeah, but see, if they would have listened to what I was trying to say, I was trying to say that.
Oh wait, hold on. Somebody got echo. Somebody got echo. Probably. Thank you. All right, go ahead, brother.
So what I was trying to say is that no, we was in this together. We have always been in this together, and I was getting to a point where just imagine when they had the men tied up. You know what I'm saying? Chained up in a dark room. He ain't ate water. He ain't drunk. He ain't had no sustenance for a lifetime. And one of the ladies that had breast milk in her, breast milk, she would come in and get that man some nourishment so he wouldn't die. So that's what kept us alive longer. So I was never saying that black women is beneath us. No, you know me. I feel black women are in this with us. 100% they in this with us. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. That's why I don't date outside my race like that, because I feel they're the only ones that can understand you know what I'm saying, what we go through, what life is, you know what I'm saying? So soon as I said that, it seemed like y'all just gave me the panther pause, but y'all didn't even let me get to the point to try to say how the black woman was yes, the black man is strong, right? Yes, we are physically strong. That's no ifs, ands, buts about it. But without the black woman, and I was trying to make that point, without the black woman, a lot of us doing slavery would have died, because it was the black woman that was breastfeeding or whatever, was sneaking to them barns, you know what I'm saying, and get that man a little breast milk, so that way he didn't die overnight. Cause she know he ain't ate in 2 days. He ain't drunk nothing probably in 2 days. You know what I mean? So she probably went in there, snuck him a little something. And then when we was escaping with our black women, they was the ones that hid the rice and the packages in their hair for us to be able to eat, down the line.
Well, brother, also, this is why I always advocate for diving as deep into African history as we can, especially in terms of the queens, because
Omar, could you mute up so we can hear Timothy, and then you can keep talking? All right, thank you, brother. Go ahead, Timothy.
Yeah. So I mean, it's important to recognize that many black women, like in the hundreds of thousands, in the millions, in the tens of millions over history, that they stood toe to toe with us against the enemy regularly. And oftentimes you would even see throughout ancient African history that they would be the ones leading the charge. They would be the ones dominating in terms of military precision, military actions. Like they would be the ones. Queen of Monterines, we mention her all the time. She's one of the primary ones that I can think of. And she's one of the best examples, because she literally stood toe to toe against the Romans. And this is during a time period where the Romans were thought to be the world's strongest military force. So, and she stood against them and ended up whooping the dog mess out of them. So much so that she actually, while in combat, lost one of her eyes because she was fighting against them. And she would even regularly capture Romans and then feed them to her lions. So, like, she was not someone to play around with at all in any capacity. And that was a black woman. So that's probably the reason why, some of the sisters panthropology down. It's just, like, at the end of the day, we got to look at everything in terms of not just paying attention to the parts of history where obviously they were providing us nourishment and helping with the strategic planning of certain things, but we also got to acknowledge the parts of history where they were like, all right, bet, hand me that knife. All right, bet, hand me that pew pew. All right, bet, you cover this corner, I'm going to cover that corner. And they did that regularly. There's even a rebellion, I forget exactly which one it was, but there was a queen who was about 6 to 7 months pregnant, something like that. And she literally led the rebellion, or at least was one of the main key players in orchestrating the rebellion. So, let's give our sisters way more credit than just they gave us nourishment. Nah, bro, they was standing toe to toe with us, taking scores of white T folks out. So,
and that's what I was doing. And like I said, I never one time on this internet put a black woman down, because I feel they are the strongest women on the face of this planet. The loads that they gotta carry is unbelievable in life. They gotta carry a family, children, working, some of them don't even have help, raising children. So they got a load that the rest of these women know nothing about. And that's all I was trying to get to people to see, is that when I made that comment, I might have said it the wrong way or whatever, but I was getting to the point is, without her, it wouldn't be us. And that was my whole purpose of saying that. Truly, without them, it wouldn't be us. And if they wasn't strong as they are, even to this day, we be so diluted with half breeds and all kind of stuff. I mean, we'd be so diluted. I mean, our bloodline wouldn't be our bloodline no more if they chose to do what half of these brothers doing.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So I just kind of got a little hurt by you because you
I
know me
didn't
and
do. I don't.
me and you go back. So I was
I
just like,
didn't
why
do
would
it.
the brother cut me off when
I didn't cut you off.
I was just
There's
trying
a
to get that point
hold
across.
on, and why I didn't cut you off. There's a Panther Paw rule because there's a lot of black women that watch this live, and when they get triggered or whatever's going on,
Uh,
they send up the Panther Paws. But you see, I didn't unfollow you, so
okay, yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
And you see, you back up here today because
yeah,
I understand we all got certain ways of talking, and everybody, when you
yeah.
know a person,
And
you know
I
how they
said
talk.
again,
But yeah.
I said again, ladies, I truly misspoke when I first started off. So if you guys can forgive me for that, cause I ride for y'all, man. Y'all don't know how much I ride for y'all. I ride, I ride or die for y'all, and that's no ifs ands buts about it. Every time I come on this man live and they ask that question, would you date a white woman? I be clowning them brothers that date white women. I be clowning them for real, cause they look like clowns to me. Why would you want to date that? And you got this over here, you got this queen with all of this over here, and you want to date an ironing board? You know what I'm saying? So my feelings was a little hurt. That's all it was because, like I said, I ride pretty hard for y'all. I
Hmm.
ride hard for y'all. Seriously, I ride hard for y'all. You know, and I was just trying to make that point is, you know what I'm saying? The stuff that they did to how they treated us, right? They had us tied up in all kind of positions, and the stuff the black woman would do to get us food in that barn or wherever they had us, or in that shack, or to get us water or milk or nourishment so we can make it to the next day. You know what I'm saying? That's the props I was trying to get a black woman. You know what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
without her, a lot of us would have been dead. We can't, especially in that southern heat. You inside a two by four shed. You know what I'm saying? Chained up. So that's all it was. I was just trying to.
We
I
all
apologize
listen.
if I
Yeah.
said anything wrong to any black woman that listens to this live, y'all, because I ride for y'all, and I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. As the Heavenly Father sits on His throne, I truly mean I apologize for that because I didn't mean it in no disrespect, no nothing. I was giving y'all more the props
And why,
than I
brother?
was the man.
Brother, can I tell him real quick what
Go ahead,
happened?
Stella.
I just wanted to let you know when you get kicked with the Panther paws, you can't come back up unless you send a galaxy to get yourself back up.
Hmm.
That's what
A
they kept
galaxy. I
telling
don't know
me.
what that
Yeah,
is.
it's a gift. It's a bigger gift, and that's what the Moss kept telling you in the comments yesterday. If you wanted to get back up, you would have to send a bigger gift to get put back up. It was no disrespect to you. It's just when you were saying some stuff that was kind of triggering yesterday,
Hmm.
and you wouldn't stop saying it, and so people got offended and they panther pawed you down. There was no, don't take it any type of way that you couldn't get back up. That's with every guest that gets up.
Yeah. TikTok ain't reality.
It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not. But it was like I said two things, and y'all just
Well,
clicked.
you
I'm
said
like,
more than two
whoa.
things, my brother, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
it's
like,
We
whoa.
okay. It's
What?
we
What?
gonna
okay.
meet. We
It's
gonna meet
okay.
you where you at, and we understand that it's hard to say things with nuance in a room
Yeah,
full of 130 people, and they all hear it the same way.
yeah.
Yeah, nah.
I mean, I don't want to. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit there and sugarcoat my behavior. I've never been that way. If I was wrong, I was wrong, and I'm a man. I stand on mine. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and when I'm right, I'm gonna stand on when I'm right. And if
Right,
y'all feel,
but
if 100 and some people felt I was wrong, who am I to argue with that? That's 130 miles saying you was wrong.
but what
So
I
I gotta go with the 130 miles.
I hear you. And I don't want this to become weaponized in future lives. So Let's just leave it where it's at. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
all
yeah. Nah,
love.
nah. I
It's
just
all
really
love.
wanted to kind of just get on and kind of,
Yeah,
clarify that point because that was on my mind all last night and this morning. Like,
man.
man, I love that brother show, and he just cut me off, and I never got a
Yeah,
chance to kind of say what I wanted to say. But
yeah. That's
that's
just the
all it
rules.
was.
Yeah.
Nothing else. But we can drop it. We can drop it. I'm glad that I hope y'all got an understanding of what I was trying to say, women, young ladies on this line. I hope y'all got a little bit of understanding of what I was trying to say, but I think I misspoke and I missaid it in the wrong way,
Yeah. All right. Let's.
So
All right. They hear you. All right. Let me go to the next guest. Proudly give us your age, race, and pronouns, please. I'm gonna mute you, Anwar. You got some noise. Okay, there you go. Go ahead. Proudly African. Give us your age, your race, and your pronouns.
Yeah, brother. Okay, I'm VOA. I'm 30 years old. I'm a South African, brother, but I don't believe that I'm a South African. I believe that I'm an African. You see?
All right. I believe that too. Talk to us, brother.
Yes, brother. You see, I don't have much to say, brother. You see, but what I want to say is that you see, brother, the problem that we have, it's a huge problem. It's a lifetime problem. And the only solution we could do to solve the problem is to unify, brothers and sisters. You understand? We need to start unifying. We need to unite. This thing, you see, brother, we have to learn about our history, of course, because it's going to help us. But we need to be combined as brothers and sisters, so that those people they can't. You see, brother, if we combine, if we unite, you see, as brothers and sisters, your brother show love to your brother, show love to your sister. Those people they will never call us again, because now the reason now they on top of us, they are using us, take us for slaves. It's because of we don't have love for one another. You see, brother, and they taught us those kind of things. That's why our history is really important. It's important to learn our history, of course. But we need to start showing that those people, we are also existing in this world. You see, brother, we are also there. They must know that we are also human. You see, and also the other thing we need to, as us, people with melanin, you see, brother, the people with melanin, we need to look to the nature, brothers and sisters, because you know the nature is the nature that keeps us survive. But those people, they created science so that we must forget about the nature, but they still using the nature, you see, to create all those things that they're doing. So now, as black people, we need to be together. It doesn't matter where you're going. You must love your brother. It doesn't matter where he at, but you need to show love. That's what's gonna make this whole thing work. Because now you see, the brothers in Congo, they are in genocide. They're Sudan, all those countries, but nobody's saying nothing about that. You see, my brother, and those kind of things they're hurting people because people are dying, and the other people, you see, they are making profit with people's lives. You see, my brother, and it's only the other race who's doing that, the colonizers. It's only them, the masters. So, in order for us to fight the masters, we need to love each other, brother. We need to start loving each other. We don't need to fight no more. We don't need to fight no more. We had enough of this fighting each other. Now we need to start uniting, brothers and sisters, so that we can be able to fight these people. Because the reason they're winning us is because we also are attacking each other. You see? So that's all I have to say today, my brother. Thank you.
All right. Sounds like Ubuntu.
Yes, I am, my bro.
Absolutely. And one thing about them South African brothers and sisters, they gonna roll to Mars. They gonna the root. Look, I sound like Mandela. We really have to run for our race. Yo, y'all. I don't know how y'all do it. I gotta put too much breath into it when I talk like that. But they saying they love your accent, brother. So absolutely. When I see an African from the continent, an African from the Caribbean, South America, North America, wherever you at, you my brother, you my sister, and we have a shared identity. and that's a connection to a land, history, and culture that we all come from. So, absolutely, this live is built to promote that unity, that self love for all of us. All right, man. Um, we had quite a show. Anybody else want to come on up and talk? Feel free. Feel free. I don't know. I might hang out tonight. It depends on what happens. I might hang out tonight. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Someone said, "Boy, if you don't separate them two, what are you talking about?" Y'all be they be rolling them R's, man. Um, I noticed that when I listen to Julius Malema speak. Man, what happened in South Africa with Julius, man? Can you let us know what happened with Malema?
Brother, you see now you're touching my nerve with that one because now what I hate about us Africans, we don't like
Whew,
something
you
that's
got a
going
lot
to
of
save.
noise. It's a lot of noise.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, let
Good.
me stand aside.
Uh,
You hear me now?
yeah, we hear you.
Okay, brother. So, as I was saying that we Africans, like, we don't like something that's going to help us, something that's going to save us. Because I don't understand why these people didn't vote for Julius Malema. You see, because that brother is only standing for the black people. You see, but now because the other black people are so puppets, they defending the matrix. They don't see that this guy is only standing there to save us, to help us from those people who are lynching us. You see, but now the black people, they don't understand that because of they whitewash them. They gave them this education system is brainwashing them. Now they confused. They don't see the reality. They don't know the truth. They always saying that, oh, this guy Julius Malema is wanting to chase the white people away from us, so we are going to starve and all those kind of things. But we are starving, my brother. We are starving while we have those people here. We have those people, but yet we are starving, and those people, they are owning our economy.
Yep.
You see, our country is not even independent country. You
Right.
see, my brother, it's depend on the outside.
Yep.
It depends on the outside. So for us, you see, for us, brother, we are in deep shit here in South Africa.
You
I'm
you
sorry to
you want
say
me to
that.
tell
We
you
are,
as an African
yeah,
American, you know what I think the biggest
yes,
glaring
brother.
problem with Julius Malema's plan or the EFF is that they thought they could
Yes,
vote. They thought they could vote their ways into freedom. They thought they could vote their way into freedom. We here in
yeah,
America understand that democracy is not something the
yes,
European lives by. They don't respect democracy. The only thing
yes,
they
bro. You
the
see,
only thing they respect is violence. That's the only thing they respect.
yes,
And so, if the
yes,
EFF wants to take back land from the colonizer, they can't do it through voting. They got to demand it, and I
yeah,
mean demand it with
yes.
consequences.
Yes, brother. You see that? Yes, brother. And also this democrat system, it was created by them. This government system,
Right?
it was made by them. So there's no way this thing is
No
going to
way.
help us.
Yeah, no way.
There's no way this thing is going to help us. Even this education of them, they only educating us about their culture, about their everything. What
Right.
about us? What about
Steve
us? Like we
Biko.
don't have, we don't
Steve.
have no history.
Hmm.
It's like he never been. It's like they were only them who's living in this world. There's nothing, we know nothing about us. They don't talk
Steve.
about Steve Biko.
Steve
They don't talk
Biko
about
wanted to make he wanted to make black consciousness classes mandatory for all black
That's
Africans.
that's why he was killed. He was killed because
Right.
he made a slogan that says, "Black consciousness, black is beautiful. We must depend in ourselves." So these people, they killed him for that. They
All
killed him
right.
for
They
that. So those
unalived him.
kind of
You have to say unalived on the TikTok. You can't say the
they
K
are
word.
alive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so Julius
yeah.
Limba is no more
Alive.
with us.
You see, I'm an unforget, brother. You see, I'm angry, man.
I know.
The
We
reason
we
I'm
all
angry,
angry. Well, we
Is
angry.
yeah, man,
hey guys,
Yeah.
is
yeah, man,
Julius
because
Limba no more with us?
No, Julius Malema is here. Steve
Okay,
Biko is
okay.
no longer with us. Steve Biko.
Yeah, I know who
Um.
Steve Biko was,
Oh,
but
okay.
I thought the dude Julius Limba is the one that be on the one that wear that red hat.
Yeah.
my
Yeah, got
brother,
that
Yeah. Yeah.
red on.
I'm
Yeah.
just
So
Yeah.
yeah, man.
he's still on this earth.
Yeah. Brr, pa.
Okay, okay,
Brr,
okay,
pa.
okay,
That
I
okay,
guy.
just,
okay.
I, I'll
Yeah.
be back in a minute, brother. I'll be back in a minute.
The
I'll
key.
be with you in a minute, my brother.
They have to take that song seriously. They got to take the "Kiss the Boar" I can't say the K word on TikTok. The "Kiss the Boar" song. You got to take it literally. That's the only way. That's the only way. We in America know that. However, if we in America tried to do that, we are outnumbered. In South Africa, black people, you're not outnumbered. You're not outnumbered. You can handle that. Like they only make up, I think, 7% of the population. Oh no, even smaller. I think maybe, but a small single-digit percentage of the population. In South Africa, if you want your land and your power back from the colonizer, that when they colonized, they didn't vote. They didn't say, all right, let's vote on making this land ours. They didn't ask you guys to sit down and vote. They didn't ask the Khoisan people and the Bantu people of Central and South Africa before they split up our mother continent. They didn't sit down and vote, and so voting is not going to get it out. They took it, and so if South Africans, black South Africans want their land back, they're going to have to take it.
And use some South African neckties too.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's the problem with a lot of brothers nowadays. They scared. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They quick to run up in another brother's face, but they slow to, you know what I'm saying, run up in the other person's face. And I see a lot of cowardness in our communities, you know what I'm saying, because y'all can do all this other stuff to each other, you know, but y'all won't do it to our real enemy. You know, y'all won't get together and let's take down our real enemy. You know what I'm saying? Because
Absolutely.
we got a real enemy in this world.
Well, brother,
And know
that's
know
because
all
we've
these
been
allies.
conditioned.
That's another thing I love Stephen Biko said. He said, "Black man, you on your own." Period. You know what I mean? That we all need to listen to that. That used to be up on my Facebook page. Black man, you are on your own. Stop sitting up here, the BIPOC community and all this other garbage. No. Mm-mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can look around the world and see how they trying to, especially here in America, they trying to feminize us and you know what I'm saying, all this stuff they doing to us. But like my brother a legend has said, I think Africa got an easy fix personally. If they really came together and said we want all y'all out, they ain't got no choice but to leave. The difference between us is let's say it's 2-1 or 3-1. So the odds not in our favor in
I think
America.
it's more than 4 to. It's almost 5-1 with us.
See, so our
Yeah.
odds not even so the odds not even in our favor
At all.
here in America at all. So we
Yeah.
can't. So we gotta be strategic how we do things. But Africans, if they really just said, "Man, enough is enough. We want y'all out," just like my boy and Traore did, told them y'all gotta go, kicked
Oh
them
yeah.
French out,
Ibrahim.
and
Yeah.
yeah, Abraham, and kicked out the Americans. Now, if all the African states did that, oh yeah, they would have to leave because they know that's a war you can't win.
Right.
That's
Idi
a war you're
Amin.
not gonna be able to win. Period. You know what I'm saying? But with us, we gotta fight a little bit more harder, and then we got too many Uncle Toms.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. That's
well,
their
I don't
problem
even I don't
too.
even want to call him Uncle Tom. I call him Larry Clarence now. We got too many of them now. You know what I'm saying? We got
Yeah.
way too many of those now, and so our plight is a little bit more heavier
Yeah.
than a lot of other people. You know?
But when they win their fight, they can back our fight.
Yeah, yeah,
And then it's different. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So that's why we waiting. Well, I won't say we waiting because in the meantime we have work to do here.
yeah.
But we're hoping that brothers and sisters on the continent will stand up and take back that land so that we can have the resources here to fund our revolution, for what we need to protect our people. For example, the cobalt in our phones come from Africa.
Yeah.
Imagine if African countries could sanction the U.S. government because of the mistreatment of Africans here in America, and they could just say, you know what, America, we don't like that police brutality, what you did with Sonia Massey in Illinois a few weeks ago, and you know what, we're going to raise the price of cobalt 10 times. It's good. You're going to pay 10 times more now.
It
The
ain't.
U.S. government would make some law real quick, man. The president would be, it would crash the American economy.
Yeah.
Or Nigerian oil, Nigerian rubber, Ugandan rubber, Nigerian oil, and
Yeah.
all these resources. All we gotta do is just raise the tariffs on them,
Even
and
if we didn't even raise the tax on them,
Mhm.
if we was, I think if we was a unit, all of us together,
Mhm.
Africa and the diaspora, and even some of our brothers in the Latin countries,
Mhm.
if one of us got shot down, if one of us got pow pow in the street like a dog, like they normally do us, and then what I'm saying, the Africans would say, look, we didn't like what we seen on that video, so from this point on, y'all shut off until this man get life in prison.
Right.
Or to this person get, what I'm saying, a just do. And I don't mean a slap on the hand, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Or
So,
we'll blockade your resources, or
yep,
we'll send troops to Haiti, because Haiti is right outside the Mississippi River, the Gulf of Mexico, so you can't have
yeah,
any trade. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could get real strategic once Africa just rises up.
yep,
That's like,
yep.
African Americans are gonna feel it. You're gonna
But
see
it,
biracial people claiming that black side, and all of a
yeah.
sudden,
And brother legend, just like I know, bro, it's too many cowards out there, dude. They willing to shed our blood, but they not willing to shed the enemy blood. You know what I'm saying? They not
Mhm.
willing to go that route. You know what I'm saying? They want to live in that comfortability. I'm willing to give all this up for my people. I get rid of this house, every car I got for my people to be united.
Mhm.
So
Because
you
what
know
you'll
what I'm
have in
saying?
Africa is 10 times better. Man, we be going out there, and once that economy is set, where we have access to the world's richest capital,
Yeah.
or money, that's backed by African resources, like, we're not gonna want for anything like at that
And
point.
just how much,
Like,
just think about how much they haven't found in the ground yet. Think
I
about
know,
how much
yeah.
gold and
All
diamonds and platinum and
they
all
got
that they
100
haven't found yet. And you know what I'm
They
saying?
got $143 trillion as of now estimated in Africa.
Yeah,
143 trillion. That's more than the U.S. debt. That's more than the U.S. That's more than the world economy. That's
yeah,
more than all the money in circulation right now by 4 times.
yeah,
So, yeah, Africa is definitely resource rich. The only reason they tell you Africa is poor is because they keep Africa poor, because they tell Africans that an American dollar with a white man's face printed on it is more valuable than African resources.
yeah. An American dollar ain't nothing but an IOU note. That's
Right.
all it is. It's an IOU note. That's all
Yep.
it is. Because it ain't backed by nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't backed by nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you 100% right about that. But I see that you trying. I know I'll be trying, and I see a lot of other people be trying to really get us on that one page, man. When we look at each other, we look at ourselves. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? When we look at our children or other people's children, we looking at our kids. You know what I'm saying? The
Mm-hmm.
same as, I will, if I seen your son, I will look at him as my son. It's like I would hope you would look at my son and see your son in
All
my son.
children.
You know what I
All
mean?
children are children of the village, and
Yeah,
we are the village. So yeah.
but it ain't, I mean, we just, it just, and I hate to say it this way, but we got too many Clarence Thomas. We got too many of them out there, man. That's willing to sell us out. just to, be patted on the head.
Yeah.
Well, that's just because, brother, like at the end of the day, we have to recognize the fact that indoctrination is very much so a real thing. We have to recognize the fact that a lot of these brothers' ancestors, unfortunately, they are very lost because the system has been designed to make it so that they are lost. The system has been designed specifically to withhold our own history from us. And the system has been also designed for us to hyperfixate on African American history or the history of wherever we are in the diaspora, rather than focusing on where we originally come from, which is the motherland. And, during time periods where we determined our own futures rather than having an oppressor determine that. So, I mean, it is important to know all of the things that we have, that our ancestors have gone through here in the diaspora, and all the oppression and all the trauma and all the unimaginable barbarism of our oppressors. But at the same time, it is vastly more important for us to have a intimate understanding of ancient African history, ancient African concepts, so that way we can properly decolonize our minds. And a lot of times these spaces are so vital. Well, not a lot of all the time. These spaces are so vital so that way we can introduce those concepts, and have conversations about them. So that way, that education can get out there. That's part of the reason why they want to prevent Black content creators from existing, because we are focusing on that history, and that history is unifying us. We are seeing real time that our own knowledge of understanding ancient African history as African people is literally leading us to, there's a specific word that that the author of the 1619 Project used, radicalize. There we go. It's forcing us to radicalize ourselves. It's radicalizing our thoughts. It is forcing us to get up and actually make movements, because it's like, dang, we used to do this and we used to do that and we used to do this, that, and the third. Why can't we do that now? And that is the one thing the oppressors do not want us to start thinking about.
And also, when we have that Kuji Chakulia, that self-determination, and Ujima, that economic power base in Africa, when that happens, we'll also see that a lot of these turncoats are only doing that because they've been incentivized by white supremacy, and they will be no longer incentivized once the incentive is in our hands, once we have the capital to incentivize pro-blackness. Let's go to the next guest. Aurelio, give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Hello there. My race is Black. I just turned 20, and I don't have. Well, I'm a boy.
All right, talk to us.
So, it's interracial marriages between Black and white ethical. I would say hell no, because we're both like two different species to begin with. I just want to clarify that very. Yeah, we're two different species. One of us are pure humans. The other ones are mixed with like monkeys and stuff. I don't think we should mix.
You got to be all right, Aurelio. This might not be the live for you. I ain't mad at you what you're saying, but you can't say that on TikTok. You can't do that. We don't have to go to that in order for it to be unethical. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could just keep it in a social, political, socio-economic sphere. We don't have to go to speciesism, I think is the word. You know what I'm saying? Like,
A lot of brothers don't understand. Them type of conversations is safe for us when if in a private setting,
you know what I'm saying?
not in
Yeah.
a setting of anybody can hear.
Yeah. Nah, nothing's wrong with genetic. Come on, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong. I'm saying you talking about it on here.
That's what I said. That no,
I'm
that's what
not
I'm
talking to
saying.
you,
Yeah.
Anwar. No, I
Oh,
wasn't.
okay.
My bad, brother. I wasn't talking to you.
Oh,
I'm talking. Aurelio responded in the comments. I'm just saying. They don't. First of all, are there humans with Neanderthal ancestry? Yes, mostly Asian and European. Pretty much anyone that left Africa uh, during the Great Bottleneck 100,000 years ago, when there was a migration out of the continent of Africa. We understand that. To say that there are different species, that's not proper. But I get what you're getting at. You know, you're kind of moving the line of what a species is, because two different species can't mate. So if we can mate and have children that are still able to produce children, that means we're the same species. However, do they share a bloodline with a non-human ancestor? Yes. So that's just a distinction that would make it safe for you to talk about. But when you say there are different species and then you use the word animal, TikTok is going to look at that as dehumanization, and they could take down my whole platform. I understand it's important for Black people to hear this conversation, but having my platform taken down is, I feel like, not in the best interest of Black people that are trying to learn something. So that was the only reason I had to remove you. But I'm not mad at what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
You educate a lot of brothers, and if they took your platform down, and it ain't too many brothers that's gonna pay. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That whatever you might charge to, get on the platform where we can say anything and everything. So it ain't
Well,
it
we
ain't
do
you
have a
see what I'm
meeting.
saying?
Yeah, we do have a meeting every Sunday, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, in our Discord. The link is in my bio, b1initiative.org. We're a nonprofit of over 920 Pan Africans worldwide. We got brothers and sisters from Saudi Arabia. We got brothers and sisters from the motherland in Nigeria and Kenya and Tanzania and Senegal and South Africa and the Caribbean. We got brothers and sisters from Haiti, Jamaica, Brazil. We got Saudi Arabia. Yes, everybody is in the meetings. We have them on Sunday at 2 p.m. If you want to join us there, we talk
Okay.
freely. There we talk freely.
And you said it's in
Yeah.
your bio, right?
That's right. The disc,
Okay.
and I'll send you the link if you have any trouble getting in. You click on B1 Initiative, and
Uh
then you're going to see our website pop up. If you want to learn more about what I do off
yeah.
TikTok,
Okay.
then go ahead and read that. Smart Sister here is one of the elders in our organization.
Okay.
We hold a special place for elders, and then we
Okay.
have the directors. So we run our organization like African society, and we have certain codes that we follow and ways of conflict resolution and things like that.
Yeah.
So she's one of our elders. Brother Timothy here is one of our directors. He handles like social media and content creation, but he has his own platform, Black Facts Matter, which we've partnered with. We still need to make that partnership official on paper. I just realized, brother Timothy, but we
Yeah.
working on that. But Timothy's locked in. Like this brother's done amazing work for B1 Initiative, and yeah, if anyone wants to join, anyone wants to volunteer, we are a nonprofit, 501c3. If you want to donate, you can do that on the website as well, b1initiative.org. We're building a project called Sankofapedia. Sankofa is the Akan word for going back and learning from your history. So it means go back and get it, learn from your past. And Sankofapedia is like Wikipedia, but from an Afrocentric perspective. We tell world history from the mindset of conscious Africans, and it's a useful resource for anyone that's trying to learn these things, because there's books and there's lectures I can give you, but Sankofapedia is one source where you'll have all of this and you can read it in plain, whatever your mother tongue is. We're going to translate it to every language spoken by Black people, so including the different languages spoken on the continent. So we're doing all of that, and if you want to join us, be a part of that. We need help building it. If you're a programmer, then feel free to join us. If you're an engineer, feel free to join us. If you know a lot about African history and you want to apply to be one of the Sankofapedia scholars and help us write articles, feel free to join. We got a lot of roles to fill, so yeah, that's what we doing. But on Sundays we have our meetings.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna get involved. And also my son, he know how to do that coding stuff. Remember I was telling you before, my youngest son, he like a
Mm-hmm.
genius on that thing.
Okay.
I'll be having to ask him for help half of the time because I don't be understanding some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He like a little genius in that stuff.
Yeah, well, tell them, come on, because it can only be built by black people.
This
We don't
boy,
have. Yeah.
I give you a quick story. This boy didn't know because he only 12, right? And
Mm-hmm.
at 11, he didn't know hacking was against the law, right?
Oh
So
no!
I know this is no joke. It's funny now, but it wasn't no joke at the time.
Damn.
His butt, his butt hacked into what was that? He hacked into his brother's bank account because his
Oh
brother
no!
me because one of my oldest son was short on some money. He
Yeah.
hacked into his bank account and changed it, and the bank, when they caught on to it, they sent the police to my house.
Damn. Yo, that's wild.
I wanted to kill that little boy. Like, dude, why would you do that? And I had to explain to him that's against the law, man. You lucky they was cool about it, and that was your first time, so they let it slide. You know,
Yeah.
you lucky
Just
because your little
real
butt would be
quick.
sitting up in juvenile for that right now.
So just real quick, family. Like, all right, just from 7 years banking and finance experience. Uh, Please don't do any of that, y'all, because they spend millions of dollars to like pay people to look after spaces like that and to
Mm.
hire the most like in tune people to be able to trace that type of stuff. So even if you just play, just don't do that, y'all. Don't do it.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a
That
no
was
no
great.
because believe me, they came to my house, and when they came to my house, it wasn't two of them. It was about 15, 20 of them came to my house.
Damn.
Man, it
That's crazy.
spooked. I was so scared to even open the door because I was like, I'm going through my head. What did I do? I know I ain't did nothing wrong. And I
Yeah.
said, nah, it can't be my sons. They didn't do nothing wrong. My youngest, he don't
Are
really
you
go
using
nowhere without being supervised. And so I
excuse me,
opened the
are
door,
you
and
using
then they
Colt
said,
357? Like, nah, that ain't me. That's somebody else now.
Well, part of my story is I've been raided by police before, so I know what that feel like out in L.A. I got a story behind that. I'm gonna share it one day, but I feel like I don't want that to be what my platform is about. So I'm kind of like waiting
yeah,
for the right time to do that. I'm gonna do my work for my people first, and then I'm gonna tell my story. But
yeah.
yeah, I do plan on sharing that. I remember you shared your story with us as well, man. So yeah, I know what it feel like when they knocking on your door. You're like, what the hell going on? It's all of these people outside.
Yeah,
All
you
these,
look out the
yeah.
window, you see SWAT van, you see all kind of
Mm-hmm.
cop cars, the whole block flooded up, every neighbor in the neighborhood looking outside like what's going on. It was so embarrassing. I had to explain that story for almost a month to all my neighbors. Literally, every
Crazy.
neighbor walked up on me, kept asking me, "What happened that day? What happened that day?" You
That's
know.
crazy.
So I'm like, man, my son learned how to do something, and he ended up hacking the bank account to help his older brother out.
Wow.
But
Well, real
yeah,
quick.
he good at that. He good at that. And for him to only be 12, I mean, I'll be amazed at some of the stuff they can do with them computers.
Yeah. Well, if he wants to join too, you let him know. I'll help you get in there. We need as many hands on deck as we can.
Well,
Melanated
well,
hands
well.
only.
You
No,
know I'm a
no
joint, brother.
non-Africans.
You know
Oh
I'm a
yeah, no, we
joint.
need you in there. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know I'm a
Please join.
joint. Cause you know me. Every time I come on, I tell the truth. You
Yeah,
know, and I love your platform for real.
absolutely.
I,
Appreciate you, brother.
I,
Go
I'm
ahead, Aurelio.
I'm down to join as well.
Okay.
I'll tell my girlfriend to join too.
Yeah, yeah. We got a knowledge center in there with lectures and different resources to kind of educate people. But yeah, we need people to volunteer and whatever they gifted at. Like there's so many different areas that we're trying to expand into. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm down for that.
yes,
And
sir.
also, tell me you have a Discord too, right?
Yeah,
So
no, that's how we communicate. Yeah, through the Discord because we don't
okay,
trust this app. We don't
yeah,
trust. Yeah, they might shut this down. So we yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also,
And then one, by you got to realize, by Brother Legend being conscious, you know they sitting back, listening to everything that we conversate about
You know what?
because of his consciousness. You know what I'm saying?
My mother said she went to the gas station and she heard my voice on my live on someone else's phone at the gas station the other day when she was traveling. She was going up north for a funeral, and she said she heard somebody listening to my live. I'm like, oh boy, you know what I'm saying? We do gotta watch what we say on here.
Yeah. You gotta watch on these public platforms because they
Yeah.
do be listening, and then
Facts.
they listen. They look at us a lot more harder, especially when we conscious about ourselves.
Right.
You know, now we was on here talking about, gang banging and somebody twerking. They wouldn't care. But since we spit knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Oh no, 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 no. We
Yeah.
can't have that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Brother Relio, did you want to say something else when you came up?
Oh yeah. I want to say I don't know much about the social economic thing that you were referring to earlier about black and white couples, but
Well, it's simple.
I do know a lot about the genetic part. So,
Well, it's simple. Do you believe black people are oppressed?
well, yeah.
All right. And so when there's systemic oppression in an environment, there's a mechanism built in where people can be taken advantage of, right? Do you feel black people have been taken advantage of in the system of white supremacy?
Oh yeah, that's correct. When they
All
used
right.
to get fed to alligators and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So in that system, the politics, the environment that was created by white supremacy is inherently going to make a relationship between a black person and a white person similar to a relationship between a prisoner and a warden of a prison. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
that person has a level of control over the black person's life that the black person doesn't have over their life. That's why you've seen Jonathan Majors run 6 blocks away from that white tea woman because she has a love. Her skin gives her more power than his big muscles. you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Me personally, I cringe when I see black and white couples, like a black man with a white girl and a black woman with a white man. I cringe every time I see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's something that's practiced, but that don't make it ethical. And that's the thing. That's the nuance of this conversation. People come up here and say, "You telling us who to love and you telling us who to be with." No, we're not doing that. We're just saying you could do whatever you want. That don't make it ethical.
Right.
Smoking cigarettes might not unalive me just by smoking one of them, but it's still unhealthy. I could do whatever I want. I could do any unhealthy thing I want to do, but we're not going to act like interracial marriage is something that's ethical.
Exactly. It's not even ethical or healthy. So.
It ain't none of that. I mean, you should be afraid. You should actually, as a black man, you should be terrified in your heart to be walking down the street holding hands with a white tea person.
I know that's right.
You should be afraid.
Have y'all seen the cartoon of where they had the black wife effect, and they showed a sister with a white boy? Before he was a little nerd, and then after he was, all duded up like a brother. And then they had the black husband effect, and it had him with the white girl before, and then after it showed the brother in jail. I hollered. I said, ain't that
I ain't seen that one.
Oh, you gotta see it. I was dying laughing. I was like, you ain't never lied.
All right, y'all, we got a new guest up here.
Hmm?
We got a new guest up here. Talia. Give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Hey, brothers, how you guys doing? I'm from East Africa. My name is Talia, which means captain. I'm from the land of the Pope. How you guys doing?
All right, what's going on?
Good.
Talk to us.
Great. You guys, I believe you guys are talking about interracial marriages, white guy, white lady mixing with man of color.
Black people specifically.
I reckon, man, we should stick to our own kind, man. I'm against this whole
Exactly.
integration thing. As a man living in Africa, we've seen what it done to us. We've seen what it's doing to the Africans living in the U.S. It ain't worth it, man. Keep the queens, man. Get married to your queen.
Absolutely.
Keep it black. I know it sounds racist, man, but honestly, man,
Nah, that ain't
culture-wise, DNA, as someone who's in the medical field, there's a lot of defects that's happening. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this.
Facts.
So let's protect our queens, man. Let's keep it within our family. We all one family.
I heard that. Black queens forever. It's nobody's never.
And ain't nothing racist about what you said, brother. I mean, because that's the truth. I mean, we need to build back up that black family unit. We need to build that back up. We need to build it up this time stronger, 10 times, 20, 100 times stronger than what it was, you know?
100%, my brother. Honestly, man,
You
when
know,
I'm with a
because-
black woman, when I'm with a queen, you know, there's a special connection. There's a special bond between me and her, you know?
Because
When
you
with
gotta
a white
realize,
lady-
when you come in the house, a black woman, right? You had that hard day from dealing with the world, right? From dealing with all these pressures, the police pulling you over for no reason. She can understand that.
100%, 100%. But brother, you know,
a white
brother, you
tea
gotta
person
understand something, brother.
gonna give you an
A
excuse.
queen,
Oh, maybe it
a
was.
queen want to make you work. It's okay. You know, sometimes she's got a bad day. All you just gotta do is we have this thing called tanazul. It means in Africa, it means that you gotta give her wins. You know, you ain't gotta challenge her. You ain't gotta be like up in her face. You know, I know she's acting funny because her hormone and everything's changing. It's okay, man. You as a man, you're a leader. You know, as a black man, you're a leader. So when she see you working, doing things, she would apply herself. She would change her way to fit your way. You know, but you ain't gotta act like a child. You ain't gotta be, you know, in her level. You know what I mean? She knows you. You know, in the books, man, it tells us we're the kings and they are the queens. We acknowledge that, and we gotta appreciate that. But the fact that you get away, like when I see Michael Jordan marrying a white girl, honestly, I feel disgusted. I'm not gonna lie. It makes me sick to my stomach, man. I'm like, dude, you're selling yourself out, man. You got beautiful sisters out there, you know, that want you for you. You know what I mean? This whole thing about fitting in, it's disgusting, man. Honestly, it's very, very sickening.
And see, and
Well, what was that brother he's gonna say earlier about the medical effects of interracial stuff? You were getting ready to say something about it medically.
There's a lot, but I want to hear what he.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Tell us something.
It's conducted in East Africa, 2,500-page document. I'm happy to send that to you. There was about 127 doctors in East Africa that did a research. They found out that marrying a lady that is not from your origin or your bloodline affects you mentally and physically. Your like sex drive or your chemistry is not aligned. So your energy automatically is. There's a conflict between it. You know, you've got in the electronics, you've got negative and positive. You guys are charging it positive. You know what I mean? When you have a lady of the same color, she's generating different energy. However, when you guys come together, you guys are generating one positive energy.
Okay, hey, brother, can you send me that research?
Study, yeah, please.
Yeah. Happy, man. Happy. Definitely will send it through, brother.
Me too.
I do know that when it comes to higher concentrations of Neanderthal DNA, they've actually found that certain genetic markers within Neanderthal DNA has been proven to be linked to hypercoagulation of the blood, which can be extremely harmful for pregnant women. It's also been linked to certain kinds of skin diseases, and I mention this all the time, but it's been linked to certain kinds of skin diseases when exposed to the sun. Also, it has been linked to psychological issues as well, psychological disorders. And we can see that the highest concentrations of Neanderthal DNA, of course, as Brother Legend was mentioning before, have been found in people of European ancestry and people of Asian ancestry. Asian ancestry has the highest. People of European ancestry have the second highest.
And then everybody else that's non-black.
Yeah. So it's even like and they even have done research in terms of, vid-19. And I say that vid-19 because, don't say the actual term, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So yeah, even when they were doing research in vid-19, they found out that certain genetic markers are actually make you more susceptible to being unalived when exposed to vid-19 within Neanderthal DNA. So that's the reason why you saw a majority
Timothy, are you aware that the data is manipulated? I'm not sure if the data that's actually generated and researched upon certain medical areas, they have been manipulated. They're not the authentic data. So we can't take that as absolute truth. Especially in the US, I've seen a lot of data You know what I mean? That were drugging the water system in Compton. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this.
That's why we definitely have to do our due diligence when it comes to analyzing different research papers and these institutions, because some institutions will come out with inaccurate information, of course, to try to push their agenda. But at the same time, there definitely are some institutions that very much so have a responsibility to disclose what it is that their findings are. And even though they may be coming from certain perspectives, there still is a lot of truth that we can gain from stuff like that. So it's absolutely do your due diligence in making sure that the institutions that are constructing the research papers are actual legitimate institutions. Like there's one institution that was trying to say that, Europeans are basically the direct bloodline that's tied to Pharaoh Tutankhamun. But if you look at a picture of Pharaoh Tutankhamun, like if you look at the bust that was literally found in his tomb that was carved and painted by people who saw him in person, you can clearly see, obviously there's no connection there. So that's, but I fully understand you, brother.
Same thing for like ancient Romans too. White people like to claim they were white, and they really wasn't. And when you look at the writings about the Romans, about white people, they used to look at white as like bad, and they used to look at black as this good or godly. So yeah, the same thing applies for that as well.
I mean, yeah, they definitely were. They were very much so more lighter skinned, but very much so. Like at the end of the day, they did have certain negative associations with extremely like whitey skin complexions, because for them back during those times, they deemed that as being sickly. But no, I mean, definitely still there was a big difference between the Romans and actual
Egyptians.
Because they would see and they would classify just broadly anybody that they saw with heavily blessed with melanin, they would deem them Ethiopian. And that more so goes with the Greeks, and then eventually that transitioned on to the Romans. But like they still did worship African gods, which is a part of the reason why they made certain religious constructs to counter all of that, because they didn't want Romans to be worshiping African gods, like black African gods. Like literally, I think there's images even where you can see that certain depictions will show during Ptolemaic rule that like the deities that were being constructed and painted were still very melanated deities.
And also they whitewashed the Romans too. I have a lot of images in my phone that I can post, but I don't know. Like I want to like see about your the website that y'all creating, so I could put my information there too.
We're still currently in the beginning phases of it. We have a beta site that we share with brothers and sisters in the Discord, because we don't want it to get out to the general public yet. I'm trying to see if I can find a screenshot.
Okay.
I think I had one.
Yeah,
okay.
Timothy.
So basically, this is the website. The color scheme is a acknowledgement of our brothers and sisters and the Akan people that we got the name Sankofa from. But you see, these are all the different categories. We got news, cultures, philosophies, geographies, societies, organizations, definitions, spiritualities, ideologies, people, events, and sciences. And we just kind of create this graph on every page. So if you were to click Malcolm X, if you go to Malcolm X's profile and look him up, you would see a similar chart that's going to show, Malcolm X knew Betty Shabazz. You'll see Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and maybe the people that he worked with, John Henry Clark, and different organizations, the Nation of Islam. And you could just click any one of them, and it'll take you to a new page, and you can just kind of get lost in like a rabbit hole on this website through this this chart right here. So, yeah.
Dynamic, is that a dynamic or just static website, brother?
This website is static, but the B1 Initiative website that you would log into to be able to create the articles is dynamic. So that one, you would have a login, you would have
you got a database.
We have a SQL database. So everything is Yeah.
That's cool, man. So like anybody can register and
Not
validate the
anybody.
information, or
In order to register, you have to be a member of B1 Initiative.
okay,
That's how we. B1 Initiative is only for people of African descent.
of
So
course.
that's kind of how we are able to gatekeep who's able to do it. And we also have a course. Well, not a course, but kind of like a a training program to kind of see what knowledge level people are at. They have to be able to know who Black African people are. They have to understand white supremacy, and they also would have to know just a little bit about Afrocentrism and our history. And once they pass that test, we approve them as a Sankofapedia scholar, and they're able to make changes. All of these articles are sourced. So you click on an article about Malcolm X, we're going to tell you the unapologetic viewpoint of how African people view Malcolm X, but then also we'll have sources to where you can click and open up a book or a citation, just like Wikipedia. So everything is backed by actual factual data.
Okay, okay. In terms of like data validation, going back to Timothy, who does the validation? Like, how do you guys have Black scholars, Black doctors? Like here in Africa, like where I am right now in East Africa, we're not referring to just anybody. We get their data, we collect their data, we look at our samples, and then we do our own conclusion. You know what I mean? Like our own findings, rather than just depending on what another person said, because that could be biased in terms of research.
Right. So that's what the citations are for. But for example, if we do Christopher Columbus, right, we can both agree, he exists. Eurocentrists and Afrocentrists will agree Christopher Columbus was a person. However, the Afrocentric view of Christopher Columbus would be as a colonizer. So we'll ethically note that in his profile that he was a colonizer. If you go on Wikipedia, they're going to say he was an explorer. And so Afrocentrism is not changing the facts, but putting them in a lens that takes into consideration the African perspective of world history. So we're not just going to teach Black history, we're going to teach world history on this website, but through an Afrocentric lens, because to us, Christopher Columbus was a colonizer.
Yeah, he was an invader.
Right, exactly. There you go. So everything else will be factually sourced, and then we also do have even a scholar on this panel, smart sister down above brother Timothy herself. She's a scholar. You know what I'm saying? When we have more, she's one of our elders, and she's helped us curate the space. Even a lot of the topics and knowledge that I've received has been because of her. And so we plan to have more like her, but yeah.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful,
we
brother. That's
gonna get
beautiful.
some more. I know a few folks, and if anybody wants to know what Afrocentricity is, the father of Afrocentricity is Dr. Malefe Asante. So go look him up if you really want to know. A lot of people throw that term around a lot, and they don't know what they're talking about. So go to the father of it, the man that created it, and go see for yourself. Because see,
Absolutely.
that's what we talking about, brother up above, that brother legend and is doing, in the sense of there's plenty of scholars out here that we've just got to understand their work and look at it.
Right.
The white man can tell us the sky is purple, and we don't say nothing. And then a Black man can say, well, it's blue because it's a reflection of the water. And he don't know what he talking about.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I agree. I agree.
So that's what we talking about. First of all, you gotta accept the fact that you can trust your own blood and your own people, and I
Absolutely.
do, and I get you. We do have to validate a lot of things, but we validate a whole bunch of mess they've told us with no question. So I do believe question authority, and nothing is absolute. However, we got to give our own self some depth a little bit better than we do.
Absolutely.
Unity.
Absolutely.
That's I agree, sister. Totally agree.
Yes.
By the way, brother legend, just a quick one. The U.S. Do you guys have like African schools, like dedicated for the people of color, or is it segregated, just white only?
No, we have we don't have an institution of educating for Black consciousness. We do have Dr. Umar that's looking to build a
Ooh,
school.
eh,
We're building a resource that I don't know how many of y'all know this, but 1 in 3 African American homes homeschool their children. So we hope to visit the HBCUs that are still colonized. You know, the
Right.
HBCUs are even named after white men. A
mhm.
lot of them,
And women,
yeah, and
Okay.
women, right? Yeah.
Spelman.
So, yeah.
So how
So,
do I? Sorry to cut you off,
yeah.
brother. So let's say today, right? Move from Africa and I go to the U.S. Let's say I go to Minnesota, New York, whatever. How do I create a school? Like, what would be the process? Is it difficult? Is it closed off? Like, what is it that's stopping you guys? Like, finance wise, I believe you guys got a lot of NBA players that would definitely be happy to, unless they are sellouts. I'm not sure if they're sellouts. That
Oh
would actually
yeah.
put down some money and say, you know what,
Brother,
I'm gonna do
I'm gonna
this for the
keep it,
community. I'm gonna build my community. Like,
brother.
like
I'm gonna
here
keep
right
it real
now.
with you. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Yeah.
There's okay. The way that the systems are constructed here in the Americas, well, basically how it is across every area where you see YT supremacy present, which is basically global. You're going to see a high degree of people of African ancestry that have achieved a certain level of wealth, but they only get to that level of wealth because of how much they have attempted to assimilate themselves into Eurocentric culture or Eurocentrism. And so, like, basically, you're not going to see a lot of funding coming from them, even though some of them do support, but you're just not going to see the vast majority of them participating in that because their paychecks rely heavily on them being so-called the safe Black person that YT people can be like, oh, see, look, see, they're over here being happy and doing all these things. They're really living the American dream. But, when it comes to actual people that are really trying to make changes and really trying to make moves in the direction of what's within the best interest of the Black community, they always give pushback. For example, prime example, Dr. Umar Johnson, everybody hears his name all over social media, but he literally purchased a school, but he had to do so many behind the scenes additional things in order to be able to finally find a space that was allowing him to be able to purchase the school without having to like, oh, okay, we know who you are. We know what you're trying to accomplish. We know what you're trying to create. Yeah, no, we don't want that to actually be in existence here. And he's still going through the process of finalizing all of the paperwork for it because he purchased the school. They've already constructed everything. They've already basically built everything up to the level, to the standards of which would be necessary for a school to operate. I think they're like doing an additional final coat of like painting and stuff that they're doing for the interior
They're
and the
doing the floor
exterior.
now.
But yep, they're doing the floor now. So it's just, but the thing is that there's going to be a lot of pushback still because the systems and constructs of YT supremacy do not want Black people to have something specifically for us just for the benefit of us. They try to destroy it or they try to prevent it or throw barriers in front of it every chance they get. But
Well, I think what Brother Legend said, and that's true what you said, Timothy. But like the brother said, in terms of homeschooling, see, our whole educational system is screwed, and the fact that they can say, oh, you're not accredited, or you don't have this and you don't have that, and da 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 da. That's why you would have to homeschool, because there are a lot of Black parents that have already developed truly Afrocentric curriculums that you
Hmm.
can get and then do it. And if you do it at home with your own computer, what can anybody say? See,
Right.
that's the only thing. Yeah, there are other schools that people have started, charter schools or whatever. But even with that being said, it's still hoops you got to jump through. And it's just
Hmm.
better to homeschool and use the Black curriculums that have already been developed and keep it pushing that way.
Absolutely. All right, y'all.
Collective.
Yeah.
What about collective investment, brother? Like investing on one another. I've got a few brothers living in Minnesota. They're from East Africa. They're investing on each other's businesses, opportunities, whatever's popping up. Every businesses they are putting it to the community, and a lot
Well,
of the African
tell them to
Americans.
invest. Tell them to invest in B1 Initiative. We get
Yeah,
this thing
brother, send your
started.
details, send your bank info, man. If you guys need funding, we'll
It's
definitely, man. We got oil company here. We could definitely help you guys out, whatever you guys need. But I
yeah.
definitely recommend everybody in the community needs to be like, you guys need to sit down with everybody and actually tell them, hey, listen, we need to be united, because I feel like a lot of the folks in the U.S., especially Africans, they are disunited. You got kids killing on color. I'm saying this on the TV every day, 7 days a week.
Unaliving.
Young brothers are unaliving themselves on representing a street that doesn't even give a damn about them. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's silly. And when I look at that, I'm like looking at it, I'm like thinking that's silly. Young brothers, you know what I
But
mean? A
there have
mother is
always
crying on
been
the side of
those
the
of
road.
us.
Can I speak on that one, brother? Can I speak on that one
Yeah,
about
go
the
ahead,
young
go ahead.
brothers and sisters who are?
Go ahead, proudly. Yeah.
Can I speak on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, brother. You see, the reason the brothers and sisters here are disunited here in Africa, brother, is because of the education they have. You see, brother, what they're educating us is to hate ourselves, brother, is to depend on themselves, is to love them, not us. That's what's happening now. So the mindset of the brothers and sisters now is so damaged in a way that they don't understand themselves. They don't know them. You see, brother, they don't understand themselves because they know nothing about their real history because of the education system that we are given. You see, so we as Africans who know the reality, we can't we need to start here in Africa, brother, because the reality is here in Africa. Everything happens here in Africa, brother. So we need to start here to educate the young children to know the reality. We need to make our own education system. You see, brother, the education that's going to serve us, only black people, because now the education of them is only talking about Columbus, the people who were brutal, the people who were enslaved, who were unaliving our people. You see, my brother, so we need to, as Africans, we need to create here in Africa. You see, because for me, because of the level that I am, it's not easy for people to listen to me. It's not easy for people to understand and believe to what I'm saying because I'm a black person. So if this thing was, it was white person who's telling them this, they will understand and believe me because I'm a white person and I have money. Now the problem is that I don't have powers to convince the people to believe in themselves, to love themselves. You see, my brother? So now as people who have the powers to do those kind of things, we need to do that, my brothers and sisters. We need to make a movement. Because you know what I see because I feel that there's something that connects me to the nature. So now there's some of the things that I'm seeing some people will never see. You see, brother, they will never see because they don't understand the reality. So now the nature, the way it's calling me, it's like I need somebody who's gonna be on my side to wake up these people. Because these people, they need to be educated, my brothers and sisters. We can't criticize brothers and sisters. We need to educate them so that they understand the truth. The reason they don't understand the truth is because they believe in what they see. It's because of believing in what they see. They don't question these things. You see, brother, they don't question these things. They don't question nothing. They just follow what the white people is telling them. You understand, my brother? So we need to create something like here in Africa. This thing needs to start here in Africa because all the things, all the mineral resources, everything is here in Africa. But yet the Africa is the most
Proudly Africa, brother. I'm not sure where you are in Africa, brother, but here in East Africa right now, there's a big revolution happening. In West Africa, they are kicking out the French. There's a big turnover happening. I'm not sure where you are exactly, brother, but it is happening right now. A lot of the books that were corrupting in Kenya as well, in majority of African countries, have been removed. Everybody's going back to the original information, brother. I'm not sure where you are, but it is happening.
I'm in South Africa.
And it's
I'm in
always
South
happened over
Africa.
here too. We just don't know. We are not connecting up. There's always been black people that fought and built and did everything they had to do. There's nothing new under the sun. What we got to start talking about is what we can do, not what we can't do.
Wow.
You know what I
No,
mean? And it happens. We just gotta move, separate away from the need to grows that are always gonna be the enemy and that are always gonna have something to say. Hell with them. We need to look at what we can do, what we've already done, and do it again. That's all. It's really that simple.
And that's one of the biggest reasons why I always say we truly need separation from them for a while. I mean, we honestly, as a people, we need. I mean, we really need to separate ourselves from them for a while. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the weak-minded ones can get strong-minded. You know, because I see a lot of strongness in this room right now. So I don't see y'all bowing or falling down, you know what I'm saying, or sucking in, you know what I'm saying, the YT lies. But it's a lot of other ones out there that is sucking in them lies and taking them for truths and believing what they saying, you know, and stuff like that. We need a serious separation from these people for a while. You know, I mean, at least a good 100 years of separation of these people. We really need that. We truly, honestly need that.
But we can separate in our mind. They can't get in your
But
head, and you
no.
cannot. We don't have 100 years to spare. My
but
thing
what
is,
I'm
we can
I'm
separate in all kind of ways,
but what I'm saying
and
is,
leave them behind
but what I'm
because
saying,
they know they dying out. Well, I'm sorry that they are unaliving, and they know that once competition comes, if more of us come around, the competition gonna be stiff, and they can't handle it. Why do you think they've done what they've done to us to keep us from even getting a foot in the door? Because they know once it's in there, we got it and gone. You know what I'm saying? They know there's the
but but
competition. They
but
can't
like I
take
said, you
competition.
got too many weak ones out there
Who
that
worried
still
about
believe
them?
that lie. You
They
know, that
but
still
they gonna
believe that
always
lie.
believe it. And those that want to become conscious, like I say all the time, we all started somewhere. No, most of us were not born totally 100% conscious the way we had to learn, we had to separate from stuff, we had to do a lot of study and everything else. So we can continue to do that. And those that don't want to learn, that don't want to change, that want to stay swimming in the milk, like I said, let them drown in it and go on about your business. I'm not worried about them because they gonna knock themselves out. So let's keep talking about what we can do, brother. I'm not worried about them.
I heard that. Y'all, I'm about to get out of here. I gotta go to sleep. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for joining the live and joining the conversation. We getting real productive conversation right now. I want y'all to join us on Sunday at 2 p.m. Central. Join us on Sunday. Appreciate you, Stella. Join us on Sunday, 2 p.m. Central. That's where we have our meeting. If you join our meeting, we're going to ask you to turn your camera on because, you know, we got to make sure you melanated enough. But, yeah, thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming through
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you for coming up on the live and sharing that wisdom with us. Brother Timothy.
So Sunday at 2 p.m. on TikTok, right?
2 p.m. It's in the Discord and the link
Or
in
in
my
the
bio.
Discord. Okay, I'm gonna have my son show me how to do it. Okay.
Yeah, it's a separate app.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, I'm out. Before we go, I want everybody to look up Sonia Massey. Sonia Massey of Illinois was unalived by the police. This is a sister that they took her life after she called the police because there was an intruder in her home. And as soon as the police got there, they did what police do. You know, we know that the black woman is unprotected.
Yep, I seen that one. Sure did. Killed
Yeah,
that lady. Yep. She
Right.
called for help, and they came and killed her.
Right. So I want brothers and sisters to take a look at that case. Raise your voices. If y'all make content, I want to see some videos. Share them with us in the Discord. We're gonna raise the voices of our fallen sister and her family. But as always, free Congo, free Sudan, free the brothers and sisters in South Africa, the brothers and sisters in Kenya, free the brothers and sisters in Nigeria, we see y'all getting ready to protest as well. Free brothers and sisters in Haiti. Free the brothers and sisters in Jamaica. Free the brothers and sisters worldwide in South America, Brazil. We see y'all Afro-Brazilians. Somalia, absolutely. Somalia, I love it when y'all put all the countries down there for me. But yeah, free all our brothers and sisters worldwide. Black laws for black liberation for all black people. Free the land. My name is Brother Legend. I'm here to raise your consciousness, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Black